He stands 6'3". He's fighting for you. He's fighting
Hey,
for
about
me.
16 you, Russ Clark with you, and Chris is here.
I am here.
Chris Lars.
Must be Thursday.
It is Thursday. Man, weeks go fast.
Yeah,
Tomorrow I won't be in.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm not going to be in. I'm taping the show. I'm already taped most of it for tomorrow. Surgery tomorrow.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like a little thing. It's something on my heart.
Yeah,
yeah, kind of like
run of the mill.
no worse than getting the mole taken off. No, it's a pacemaker.
You are?
Yeah. They decided that heart rate's too slow, and got to put a pacemaker in. And I'm not thrilled about it.
I don't know if anyone ever is.
Yeah, it's nothing I like. Like, oh man, I hope I get to do that. Wasn't going to check that one off. Yeah, but it's an outpatient thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Dang, things have changed.
They don't even put you under.
That's crazy.
I'm gonna be awake while they cut my chest open.
That is no.
Of course,
That would freak me out.
Well, who says I'm not?
Because they got to go through the ribs, don't they?
No. Well, it's very non-invasive like that. It's they have a slit below your collarbone on your left side. So it looks like maybe 2 to 3 inches slit, and they just work in that pocket.
That's crazy.
And they grab one of those veins and they shove a wire through that vein that goes down into your heart. I mean, that's as close they're going to get to the heart itself is that slit above your collarbone. And once they get all that done, they get the wire where they want it. Then they just cram a pacemaker in that pocket they create
and close it up.
And then they super glue it.
Wow.
They do.
I know they do, but it's insane.
Yeah, it's super glue it.
Oh my goodness. The medical technology is just so bizarre these days, how far it's come.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It is. Super glue and then put a little tape on, said don't take a shower for a couple of days, get out of here. Yeah.
Wow. That's incredible. I did last colonoscopy.
Those are fun.
Yeah, I stayed awake during it.
What they always do, but you don't usually remember it. I didn't remember.
No, they didn't put me under for it. They usually put you under.
But they give you some kind of happy pill, don't they?
No, they just knock you out. And the first one I had, they knocked me out, and I didn't enjoy the coming back. The waking up. I was all groggy, and I didn't like that, and it affected me for hours later. And I said, "Can I stay awake? You're not doing anything, like cutting me or anything." Well, technically, yeah, you can, but nobody does. Well, I want to stay awake.
Well, you actually did with no medication.
Yeah, and they're like, "Well, okay." So I talked to the doc the whole time. He put the camera screen where I could see, and he's showing me everything, telling me about everything. I'm asking questions. It was fantastic. I loved it.
Didn't feel any more than just a regular Saturday night for you.
It's just like gas pains. That's all it was because they pump you up with CO2, and it just felt like gas pains. And I was like, well, I've had gas pains before. I'm okay with this. And we finished, and I just walked out the door, and my wife was, she didn't know I was going to do that. She was waiting to pick me up because you have to have someone to drive you home.
Out.
Yeah. So I just walked out, and she's like, "What?" Because she'd seen me the last time, and I was just
Really?
Yeah.
I never knew that was an option.
I did not enjoy coming out of anesthesia. That was not pleasant.
I was happy.
Yeah, if nitrous oxide or something, that'd be another story.
I came out of that and I was like, I love everybody.
They did the nitrous oxide for my daughter, who's doing some dental work on her because she could not handle dental.
Oh, okay.
Dental work, and boy, she was fun.
There's some YouTube videos on those. That's kind of unfair and invasive to tape your child in such a condition. And I mean, it's funny, but it's not. They got.
Yeah, we didn't record her, but
they got to live with that. Forever. They're going to have kids someday. Say, "Mom, is that really you?
Is this real life?"
Yeah, it's a happy thing. But my understanding is they'll give me something that, will make me groggy or whatever, and they say
Mhm.
you won't remember it,
Huh.
possibly. I don't know.
I'd wanna remember it.
You wanna remember?
Yeah. I like
Look,
experiencing things.
I've had, like, wisdom teeth pulled
Uh-huh.
where it's just locals and you can feel the tooth
Yeah,
being ripped out.
yeah. I did
I
that.
didn't like that experience.
They had the yeah, doc, 'cause I was getting out of the Marine Corps, and he
Yeah,
says, "Probably may not need to pull them, but if you do it now, they're free. If you do it later, you'll have to pay for it." Alright, yank 'em
yeah.
out.
I love
So he
free, yeah,
had
pull my
to
teeth.
they weren't even high enough to really get a hold of. He had to cut open and get down into it and break it into pieces and yank it
Yeah,
out,
yeah.
and yeah, I was awake the whole time and
Mine was like that. They had to I mean, I think the guy stood on the chair as he was yanking. He couldn't get it out. I had I had 3 wisdom teeth because
uh,
I guess
the other
some
one
really smart people
wasn't
have
there.
4,
I
but
had 4,
but
so
they took 2 of them and they made an appointment for that 3rd one. I never came back. I
nope.
still have that tooth to this day.
Is that why you're all lopsided all of a
Yeah,
sudden?
I do. I tilt to one side. I do a tilt. I wasn't going back for that last one,
Yeah.
man. Those first 2 were not an experience that I grew to love.
Yeah, yeah, whether I like it or don't, I like to have experiences, that's why we're living, to have
Yeah.
experiences, so,
Oh, it was an experience, all right.
yeah.
My my ex-wife had 4 wisdom teeth, and she had them all pulled in one setting, and they
Yeah,
didn't recommend it.
that's
They
what they do with me too.
and then she went to work all swollen, looking like a chickmunk with blood
Mhm.
dripping out of the corner of her mouth as a waitress.
Wow. That
That was a trooper, man.
yeah,
That's something else.
either she freaked the people out or
I don't know
and
if
they
it was
didn't tip her or she got
I don't think it
sympathy
was a
that
good decision. I don't think it was recommended, you know? I don't know. Everyone probably felt sorry for her, like,
Yeah. So
"I see your
here's some
husband
extra money.
I see your husband beat you." That was not the case. Not the case, man. That girl, and she said afterwards, "Bad decision."
Yeah. Yeah, I was, in the Marine Corps, you get bed rest for, like, 3 days, so that was cool. It's like
Oh,
a
no,
mini
okay.
vacation,
No,
so
I sent her to work that day.
that's
Yeah,
funny.
yeah, well, it wasn't really my decision, it was hers,
Yeah.
but look, it was not
Well,
not
there's times in our lives where, we gotta work, we can't
well,
take a day,
that's
so
how we ate.
yeah,
Y you
we
know,
can't take a day.
paid the rent.
Yeah.
We did both work, at the time. Um, there's been another trans gunman.
Oh, another one?
Well, it's one in Rhode Island, and you are here, but the hockey game,
Oh, I didn't know I have any details about
it was in Rhode Island.
yeah, all I heard was it happened and they were investigating.
Yeah, I didn't really look at it
Yeah,
until today. I decided, to look at it a little bit more, but uh, interestingly enough, you've heard of a few trans ones, and they don't really talk much about
right.
them. They just say, "Oh, this terrible thing happened and this and that. There was a
Well,
gun. We shouldn't have guns." And, "Oh, and the person was trans, but that's no big deal. There were so many people," and they just blow by it.
yeah. And unfortunately, we talked about that just last week, and, there's a pattern to recognize.
Well, yeah, but
There shouldn't be a pattern,
nobody will because we won't
but
talk about it.
well, we're talking about it.
In fact, well, yeah, you're right. But mainstream and stuff. Somebody, and I don't remember where I saw this. It was a show on that somebody actually went to artificial intelligence and said, "Give me a listing
Ah,
of all the shootings that involved a trans gunman." None.
oh, really?
Well,
Not
no,
even AI can find
no,
one.
AI couldn't find them
Hmm.
because I guess somebody blocks AI because that's a racist thing to say or
Well,
homophobic.
that could be it too, yeah, but
Wait a minute, is it racist to say a white guy did it or a black guy did it?
right.
I don't
Um,
know.
the AI can only learn what's out there, though.
But it knows, it's on headlines. It says, "This is a headline right here, trans gunman."
Okay, well,
So
there it
you could
is.
say, "Hey, AI, have a trans gun." None, 'cause
Hmm,
they don't wanna put that on the trans community. They got enough problems.
yeah,
But if
well,
you start looking at it, the
they
percentages of
do have a
trans has
lot of
gotta be
problems.
pretty high now. It's
I know.
moving up pretty fast. I mean, that's a violent group of people.
The I don't wanna put it on all the trans people that they're a
Oh,
violent
no,
group, but,
no, and of course,
um,
it's
I would think that the issues that they're dealing with, whether because of their own choices or because, like that last week,
They've got some
they
mental
they were
problems.
damaged to 12.
They got some mental
Yeah,
problems for whatever reason.
there's potential
Oh,
for
yeah.
yeah.
Well, but we're not allowed to say that trans is a mental problem. So, like,
Yeah,
it's tough to treat it.
I Googled right now, and it's got, Robert Dorgan, who also went by the name Roberto Esposito.
He's the
So
recent
not only changed his, gender, but also changed his, race, apparently.
Yeah.
He did not like being who he was, apparently.
No. I didn't like
Wow.
his ex-wife, his kids,
Mm,
and he went to the Rhode Island hockey arena, where his child was playing the game. It was senior night for, uh
mm,
for the kids, so he just walked in there, with 2 firearms. He had a Glock 10 and a 6 Hour 226, and they don't know which one he used, but, he shot his wife and killed her, killed his kid, one of them,
okay.
and, shot 3 other people. His ex-wife Rhonda was dead. His son Aiden Dorgan did, but then Linda Dorgan, which is his ex-wife's mom and dad, Gerald Dorgan, were both shot, as well as a Thomas
Wow.
Caruso, who was a family friend. Now, those 3 are in the hospital in critical condition, uh, but just terrible,
Yeah.
just terrible. And we're starting to read more and more of these trans things, including, I'm not counting this as a shooting, but that helicopter over the Potomac that hit the airliner also had ties to a lady that was flying that thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there was something about her being the gay community, and that all looked intentional to me. I mean, just the way it went.
Well, they did a reenactment, and they pointed out that
It's
neither one of them really would have been able to see each other very well.
well, but the helicopter seemed to steer into it, and it was out of altitude. They were not following instructions and all that
That
stuff.
was the case, yeah.
Take a phone call. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Russ.
Well, good morning.
Hey, first of all, many prayers for your procedure tomorrow.
Well, thank you, sir. I hope to be back to disturb you on Monday morning.
That would be great. But I was thinking about the AI conversations you were having yesterday.
Yeah.
And remember Big Brother, that big scare?
Yeah.
Remember, the difference between communism and free markets is private property?
Yeah.
Remember when a doctor takes the oath of the Hippocratic Oath, first do no harm?
Okay.
Right.
Well, everybody seems so eager to give up all of that for the convenience of being too lazy to go to pick a volume of encyclopedia and do your research.
Um, probably, and I think there's a case made for that, because if AI is out there, I'm
But
going to grab it, not the encyclopedia.
the
Right.
thing about AI is they're not going to put the evil out first. They're not going to say, "Hey, eat this vomit before I give you real food."
You're not wrong. AI is a machine. It's a tool, and it's going to be programmed by people that have an agenda, and that agenda is going to
But
show.
what did we learn? What did we learn about Minneapolis and all of the caregivers that wished not just death on us, heinous death on us?
Oh,
Caregivers.
yeah, yeah. There's many.
So all
There
of
were
a sudden,
nurses that are wishing people to have bad
yeah,
childbirths
yeah,
and die and
and
stuff.
doctors too.
Yeah,
So you go into the indoor of a hospital, and you expect some indifference. But all that a doctor or a nurse has got to do is hit your name, and it tells you all your research. It tells you everything about you, and from that, one of those people can produce, "Hey, you're a Republican.
Hmm.
I think we're going to kill you and sell your eyes."
it's a concern, and you're not wrong. It's a very much a concern, and it's something I don't think we all know how to handle at this point.
Because what's the difference between these big technical
Technology.
Okay.
Rarely do I get one right, but I'm glad to help.
That leap from, we went from, reading pages in a book
Yeah.
to an encyclopedia to all of a sudden you had the slide rule.
Yeah.
Remember, we went to the moon on the slide rule. We went into the deep oceans with a slide rule. We did the atomic bomb with a slide rule.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, what?
I'm not going to give up my computers. I'm not.
No. But what I'm saying, there was this wall. All of a sudden, we go into the computer age. But the internet, the World Wide Web, you still had privacy.
Some,
yeah,
less.
And we're talking about the World Wide Web didn't say, "Hey, wait a second, this is going to be the dark web."
Not initially. You're right. It all grew pretty rapidly. Yeah.
To put pornography on your cell phone, you have a choice to put your penis on a cell phone. You have a choice. But you're giving up your entire life when you go to AI because it's all going to a database. You have completely given up to Big Brother.
Yep.
And of course, as we go, as America pushes forward. I mean, did you listen to Marco Rubio?
He was wonderful. Yeah.
I mean, that was a statesman. That was not a politician.
Yes.
That was Churchill.
Yeah.
And you contrast that. We always have the Democrats shitting in our backyard.
Hey, watch the language, buddy.
Pooping in our backyard.
Right.
I mean, that AOC and Hillary Clinton were an embarrassment. But you know what?
Yeah.
Thought they were victorious. But, you have a good contrast between a statesman and a politician.
Correct.
And that's what you had. But, all of this stuff with Trump, look, when it goes back into the Democrats' hands, they're going to trade. They aren't going to make this greater and add on to the greatness. They're going to tear it down.
Correct.
They can't wait to tear Trump's name off of that arch building. They just can't wait. What are they going to do? Tear down the wall?
Yes, they will.
How is that going to be possible?
We have politicians promising that. We have politicians promising to tear down the ballroom when it's built.
And so now you have AI in their hands.
Yep. Yeah.
So, it's a now let's take another leap. What did Satan say to Eve in order to make her take that apple?
Oh my goodness. You're quizzing me and I can't answer it.
Well, I'm not trying. I mean, he said you could be like God.
right.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
What did Satan do with Nimrod? In Scripture, it says that he was the great grandson of Noah, but then all of a sudden he was a mighty man, and he became the epitome of Satan on earth, evil, which is what Christians celebrate on Christmas and Easter. But something happened to Nimrod. He sold his soul to be a mighty man. And if you go into Revelations, you got the mark of the beast, and everybody talks, it's going to be. No, this is the mark of the beast, man.
The AI
is the mark of the beast.
All right.
And, and everybody's just for convenience. Just for convenience. It's like, do you remember when you were 16 years old?
Vaguely, yeah.
In your life? Huh?
Yeah, I do.
The biggest thing in your life was what?
Car.
You got your driver's license.
Yeah.
That was freedom. Yeah. Who and what idiot? What stupid idiot who's got testicles would want to buy a self-driving car?
Me.
I mean, you're giving up your humanity.
Everyone's going to have a subjective opinion on that.
Yeah.
But a lot of them look. One of the most conscientious guys I know as far as security and not holding on to his identity and everything is Dean. Dean that comes in. He's a paranoid kind of guy almost because he knows Army intelligence and all that. He thinks everybody's always watching. He uses AI now. In fact, he told me sitting in here off air, it's the best investment he ever made. He can't believe how much he got done now with his research and compiled and actually graphed and things, did a lot of things that he wanted to get done that would have taken him so long as a project he never really started. And now he just finished it so quickly. So it's a great tool. And you're right, that tool can become consuming, evil, and own us if we're not careful.
Yeah.
Now you're kind of a novice in your sense of religiousness. But
Possibly.
if you read Revelations,
yes,
you don't know this, and really, I'll bet the person who's teaching you Scripture doesn't know this. If you read Revelations, there is a warning by God, and He says, if you take that mark, you won't be able to go to the judgment.
True.
What do we fear the most? The judgment.
Correct.
But you're going to want to go to the judgment, but you're not going to be able to go to the judgment because God doesn't know you anymore.
And you think AI is the mark. I mean, I don't know how you're convinced of that, but people thought the Social Security number was the mark back,
and it was still an encroachment toward giving up your sense of life.
Right.
You're giving up your sense, even the driver's license, even the gun carry laws.
Well, maybe the Amish are the only ones that are going to be in a good place because they don't do any of it. They don't even have electricity in their houses.
But we go back to Big Brother.
Yeah. And
the people who are complaining about Big Brother are giving their entire life up. Imagine, I'm going to push a button, a doctor pushes a button, a head nurse pushes a button. Russell Clark, he's with the Tea Party.
Yep.
Dead.
Yep. Possibly. But look, the early Christians understood something, that's hard to believe, I guess, for us today about faith and about identity and who they were and what they believed in. And they sat in a jail with handcuffs.
Right.
And felt free. Mm-hmm. And they said, you can't own me.
Right.
I'm a part of the kingdom of heaven, and I know where I'm going, I know who I am, and this confinement has no bearing on me. So do they really own me? If my mind is right, if my purpose is correct, if my desire and direction is correct, and I pay attention to that and am loyal to that, does AI own me at that point? They may know me. They may know every move I made as a human, but that doesn't change me. That just identifies me.
The warning of Revelation about that mark, God also gives another warning.
Yeah.
He says that even the most informed of his followers will succumb to that.
Correct.
And I don't think I'm even close to being that strong.
He cautioned about
even our strongest will succumb to it. That's how alluring that mark is. And the thing comes down to why even get started.
Well, he cautioned about false prophets.
Right.
More than the mark. The mark was something we accepted, but false prophets. And I think if we pay attention to that and we understand the gospel and we understand what's going on and continue to study the word, we're not going to fall. We're not going to fall for that. And we'll see inventions and technology as a tool versus a curse. But in every generation, we're always looking at what that mark is and what that program is. And if you go back through history, people thought World War II was the end of the world. People thought World War I was the end of the world. That Social Security was the mark. I mean, it comes out every generation, every day. And in reality, we never know. Yeah.
I heard you guys talking about giving nukes to all these countries. I thought back in the 60s, all these hippies who are now politicians, we wanted to stop the ownership of nukes.
Who wants to give them? Who wants to give? You lost me. Who wants to give nukes to countries? Who wants to do that?
you guys are making a statement in saying that all those satellite countries that broke away from Russia, they should have nukes to prevent Russia from coming into them.
No,
They said
no.
if Ukraine had nukes, Russia wouldn't do anything.
I have made that comment that they gave up their nukes.
I'm not condemning you. What
Okay.
I'm trying to say is there was a time when we said no nukes.
Correct.
And now everybody wants everybody to have nukes. And what's going to happen when everybody has nukes?
No.
You can't have that.
I absolutely agree with taking the nukes away from Ukraine. I agree to that. What I think is horrendous is the people that signed the agreement with them of protection. And if you do this, we will never let anything happen to you. It was Russia and the United States, and I don't know if it was Canada or Great Britain, but the United States is the one I'm worried about. And Russia, they both didn't do anything to help Ukraine. Of course, Russia attacked Ukraine, and Russia sent them blankets.
I think
the United States sent them blankets. Yeah.
I think every time we bring up Ukraine,
Yeah.
we need to remember what Ukraine was about and why this is happening.
I don't
Ukraine initially was about money laundering for the Democrat Party and the deep state. Ukraine was about making another biological epidemic to throw on the world through the old U.S. Russian biolabs that were there.
I'm going to agree with you that those things existed in corruption existed in Ukraine. They were an extension of Soviet, type of leadership when they took over. And and people in the United States and groups from the United States took advantage of them. They helped with the corruption and helped them engage in corruption instead of helping them get out of corruption. I think it's changing now, but just
Ukraine is what the Biden family used to money launder.
That is something that's on the record is a great possibility. I agree with you.
Where is Chernobyl geographically?
It's in Ukraine,
right?
But it was a Russian design and a Russian nuclear power plant. But look, the United States, we had crime and corruption. We still do, and we had Al Capone, and we had all those learning curves, and we had a civil war. We had all those things, and it's faith, it's hard work, it's sacrifice that got us to where we are, and we're always in danger of losing it, like we are now. We're always in danger of losing it. And we got to fight for it. But I don't think it's one thing it's going to take it away. It's not a tool. It's not AI. It's not the cotton gin. It's not the computer. It's not self-driving cars. It's faith, and it's our interaction with fellow man, our honesty, our morality, and all the things that go along with those things.
Right.
And it doesn't matter what tools we have at our disposal. It's what we do with them.
Well, I'm just saying, once you let that genie out of that bottle, you're not putting it back in.
It can never go back. It's already out.
So, and I'm not, I'm not a prepper and I'm not a hippie, but that adage, go plant a garden.
Yep.
Is proper for today because they're doing nothing but giving us poison in these grocery stores.
I agree that our food sources has got to be improved. I'm happy with Robert Kennedy taking a look at it. As much as some people hate it, I like it very much, and I agree with you about all of that. And there's nothing wrong with being a hippie. I think my wife's a hippie.
Well, I hate a hippie, but I have a garden. God bless you tomorrow, sir.
Take care, man.
Take care.
All right.
We'll be right back.
We'll have sunny skies and a high of 68 today. Southwest winds at 10 to 15. Clear and 50 for tonight. Sunny at 66 on Friday. Northwest winds at 5 to 10. 45 and clear on Friday night. Beautiful weekend coming. We'll start with 72 for the high Saturday, up to 81. Partly cloudy on Sunday.
This is as real as it gets. Get up. Get kids up. Feed the dog. Feed the kids. Out the door. Work, pick up kids, dinner, bath, bed, repeat. You strive all day to make life better for them. So why not make life better for you? Get strive-free checking at Avenir Financial. No frills, no fuss, no monthly fee. Open a strive-free checking today at avenirfinancial.org. Certain restrictions apply. Federally insured by NCUA.
All right, do-it-yourselfer, you've got the idea, and you got your building supplies at Southwest Lumber.
That's right.
Now, all you need is a bunch of expensive tools to get the job done.
Oh, that's right.
And you know just the place to rent them. Southwest Lumber, your home for everything home improvement. Southwest Lumber has half-day to multiple-day rentals available on just about anything you need to finish the job. Rent equipment and tools on Saturday and Sunday. It's free. Stop in today at 1917 South Avenue B in Yuma. Southwest Lumber, ready for everything.
There's a man in D.C.
AM 560 KBLU, Russ Clark with you, and Chris Larson.
Yep, right here.
Yeah, interesting first call. That made me think a little bit.
Yep. Yeah, you had that one. Those. I don't know if you want to call it. It's more. That statement you made.
About the
that just
apostles
kind
in
of
jail.
Yeah, all of us.
But you couldn't contain them.
Yeah,
You don't own them.
neither one of us could speak after that for a while.
I waited.
Yeah.
Let's take a phone call. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Russ.
Good morning, OG.
Yeah, listen, yesterday we talked to you really did a good job on AI, by the way.
Thank you.
You recall the movie Blade Runner back in the 80s?
Oh, my, yes. Loved it.
Okay, yeah.
Harrison Ford.
Yep.
Yeah, it's all true today, isn't it?
Oh,
Pretty much.
gosh, yes. A lot of that is. I mean, those technologies exist.
Yeah. Well, what I wanted to ask you, the main thing I called for was the Black History Month. Did you see that Donald Trump addressed it?
Donald Trump did what?
Did you see what Donald Trump speaking for Black? Black
No.
History Month?
No, I didn't. I heard he did, but I didn't see it. No.
Oh, that would be a whole show for you.
Okay.
It was a fantastic show. He really did American history justice. Trump did.
Wow.
Good.
Now, he pointed out a lot of history that is not just Black history; it's American history,
Mhm.
and it should be integrated in with Thomas Jefferson and all this. You got to pull up that show and sometime when you start coming and watch it because Trump he Americanized that, and it's true because I know history pretty good. And no more, he didn't make a mention of Oprah Winfrey's heroes, W.E.B. Du Bois, or he didn't make mention of the 30-year convicted communist Nelson Mandela. He didn't make mention of that. Those are the heroes that Oprah and the folks like her have convinced Black people is why their politics are what it is. If they knew the truth about Black history, about the tragedy they had to live, number one, they don't mention the true whites that first came to this country. They were criminals and debtors. They were the worst of the worst from the monarchy governments. Mm-hmm. And they were sent to Australia and the United States, and they colonized this place. Am I right?
I don't know that much about that, but yeah.
To a large part, yeah.
Well, those were the people that were criminals. They were criminals, and criminals usually have evil minds, but they're stupid and they get caught. Well, they're the ones in England that decide to bring the Black slaves here. And but our American historians, either they don't know history or they deliberately leave out the import of all the. England, they raided their society, just like Trump is talking about Venezuela and their worst here and other countries. Well, the monarchies, I think there was 100 of them back in 1750 and 1800. They deported everything. They didn't have no cost of prison. They sent them here. And because they had no technology to get across the ocean to come back.
Right.
And they knew that the Indians would take care of them because, the name they gave the Indians. It's regrettable that they gave them that name, but they called them savages.
Yeah.
And and so the prisoners had that to deal with. And then Australia, remember, they had the indigenous down there. So England, but this is a history that we're not taught, and it's shameful.
Yeah,
because we try to blame white people for slavery, and it's not true.
Oh, gosh!
Right.
I mean, have you ever read the Bible? Just a little bit of slavery in the Bible doesn't even have to do with people from Africa, even.
Yeah, and I'd like for you to kind of pick up on that in future programs because people. It's education is what it is, Russ.
Yep.
Because our schools have been dumbed down since that 10th plank of the Communist Manifesto that Jimmy Carter signed in law. That was education in charge, or the government in charge of education. And anyone under 60 years old that thinks they know it all, you're dumber than a bucket of rocks, folks. Well,
Probably
no,
right.
because no, they are, because all the history that they know of this country was dictated from that 10th plank of the Communist Manifesto.
Wow.
Me, I'm going to brag a little bit. I'm 84. I was educated way before that sucker became law of the land.
Yeah.
And so were you. So were you.
Absolutely. But I think today's education, we're getting it from people like AOC, Jasmine Crockett, and Oprah Winfrey, and Joy Reid, and it's all lies.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Right? Yeah. And I'm glad you're picking up on that. I really am, because I hesitated about bringing the subject up.
Oh, I'm glad you do. I went to a black college. That was my education. It was HBCU.
Cool.
Yeah, Delaware State University. Look it up. That's my alma mater.
Well, Trump was the one that permanently financed black colleges in his first term.
Yes, he did. He donated. He made sure they were. But Trump was very close to the black community.
Because the deans and so forth, they had to come to Washington about every 6 months and beg for money. Trump says, no more of this crap. And he just financed them just like he would Harvard and Yale and these others. So they're on equal footing when it comes to financing from the government. And that's good. That's a good thing.
Right. Yeah.
And I hope he carried it on to if we got an Indian colleges or whatever. Because government can control education. And that's what we call it. That's the intent of the 10th plank. By making grants to these colleges. If you don't teach what I tell you to, that was their old Department of Education. If you don't do what I tell you, well, you're not getting no grant. So they would teach this false history of the country.
Well, and Trump's using that same process to say, clean it up or you won't get a grant. Right.
No. Oh, yes, sir. I'm glad you said that. Yeah, exactly. Right opposite. Clean it up, teach it. The truth of history, or you're not getting nothing. That's pretty much what Trump is doing.
Exactly.
But pull that show up, 100th anniversary of the Black History Month, and you're going to see all the love that's in that room, guy. You're going to see it. Yeah. And from people. I mean, some of these black people don't get mentioned. Remember the woman that he pardoned that got 50 years in prison for like a telephone call?
Yeah.
Her name was Johnson.
Yeah, I do.
She spoke, and boy was she. She was so right on the money, and what a great speaker she turned out.
I need to watch that. I was a member of the NAACP. I've let that lapse because I don't like what they're doing. They're pushing. We're a victim, or we're a victim, or a victim. Instead of like, hey, there was atrocities in our history like most other people, but we were tougher for it now, and now we live in harmony. They don't do that. They, unfortunately, they don't do enough of that.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people don't know that white people can join the NAACP. I'm glad you mentioned that too.
Oh yeah. In fact, recently, I think last year, maybe a year before, I spoke for them over at AWC in a meeting and a program I emceed it for them.
Yeah. Oh, one question. How's your son doing?
My son is getting transferred out of Sicily, and they shipped him, and he'll be here in April, Tucson.
Oh,
man.
That's a beautiful area.
I'm going to get to see him, maybe.
Yeah, good for you. Good for you.
I'm going to see him without having to have a passport. Yeah.
Remember when he was just promoted majors? I told you to go put a beer board. There's a major happening at the household.
Yeah, we need to do something for him. I'll bring him to town. I'll give you a call. We'll take you out to lunch.
All right.
Take
buddy.
Care. Take care.
Bye.
Bye. I still never met OG.
Yeah.
I need to take him lunch.
Yeah, you need to sometime. Yeah. What you're talking about with the history is dead on. I was shocked when I found out that slavery was going on in other parts of the world. I thought it was just the United States. The way we were taught, it was an American invention, and we were the only ones doing it. It was everywhere, and it did come in, and then we find out that I had known that Australia was originally populated. The white population was initially the prisoners. We're just gonna get rid of them from Australia. They did it to the United States too.
Correct.
The colonies. I didn't know that. There's just so many things that were not taught that are just not spoken of.
The first slave owner in the United States was actually a black man.
Yeah.
And there were 3,000 black
Well,
slave owners.
and the slaves that that were sent out of, well, not sent out of, but taken out of Africa, were often captured by other tribes in Africa.
Well, it was too dangerous to go inland and find. So they just went to the docks, and Nigerians or whatever would bring people in shackles and say, "How much?"
Yeah.
Here you go.
That was one of the problems I had with that movie Black Panther, where the main character implied that black people all over the world need to be united. That's not the nature of things. We don't. Just like not all white people are bound together as white supremacists.
No.
The black people aren't either. They were, that's a different person than my people, so I'm going to send him up and get a benefit from it.
Right.
That it had nothing to do with black or white.
No, the slaves were basically sold to the people that showed up in the ships.
Yeah. By other
tribesmen would do all that. Not always, but that's the way it ended up.
Yeah, and we know that like you mentioned in the Bible, there were slaves in the Bible. People were sold into slavery by their family members.
Yeah,
things like that, and it's just every culture throughout time has had some sort of interaction with slavery. They've either been slaves or they've had slaves. It's part of our history.
Around
the world,
human
history globally, and we should learn the lessons from it, but we shouldn't be vilifying us because 200 years ago it was part of our history. We learn from it. We say, there were problems with it, and some societies, like they didn't mistreat the slaves. It was just a status.
Correct, and you can read, biblically, even in slaves back then could become part of the royal family, even.
Yeah, the word is so generalized, and vilified that it's hard to talk about honestly. But if you look through history, it's been used in different ways.
There's no doubt that slavery in America, particularly, was a dark part of our history.
Yeah,
but one we need not forget.
Yeah, we shouldn't forget it.
No,
but we should learn from it.
We're not,
but
we're not living it today, and we should stop all this. Oh my, you poor person! You were born with the DNA of a slave. So I don't know how much is in my DNA, but I guarantee it wasn't all perfect.
Right? Yeah.
yeah. And this whole victimization stuff,
and like you were saying with the NAACP, they're saying overall victims, and like, no, we should, it should be. These things happen to our ancestors, to our past, and we become it. We've grown from it. I'm strong from it.
We haven't helped the culture of the black communities. The black communities
not at all.
Continue to have struggles, and the struggles aren't because, in my opinion, it isn't because businesses and people don't want good people that happen to be of color. It's not that. It's driven from inside the black communities, and I have a lot of friends that grew up, and they were always lectured to as kids, even, you're black, you'll never get anywhere. You're not going to get any opportunities. You're not going to make it. And what are you studying so hard for? You're trying to be a white boy. Why are you getting an A?
Well,
that kind of peer pressure. And it's not all black families, but that's some people I know. That's how they grew up.
Well, that used to be
knowing that there's no chance in life.
That used, women used to get the same treatment.
Right.
What are you doing? You're going to be a mother and a housewife. Why would you need to go to school or anything?
Exactly. But that came from the families.
Yeah.
That doesn't come from the guys across the street.
Well, it was society-wide.
Well, it was society, but
society changes faster than the families do.
Yeah.
And there's families that, and my wife, we had, has connected me with the Mexican community. And there's still a little bit of that in the Mexican culture too. Why are you trying to go above your station and things like that?
Oh yeah, there's but it's a learned experience.
It's there.
We learn by being raised by people of the same culture, and that's passed on through the culture, just the way that we raise and continue those traditions of here's how a wife acts, or here's how a
Right.
husband acts, or
And I'm not immune to it.
why?
I look at, my home life, and I know that, the husband and wife are equal partners and, everybody's, contributing to everything and so on
Well,
and so
yeah,
forth.
regardless
But my
of
wife does the cooking,
yeah,
you know? She does the laundry,
we figure those out, and there's a hopefully everything's pretty much equal, even if equal means the man is the main breadwinner and the woman is the main,
Yeah.
domicile, take care of things. Doesn't matter. There's equals.
Yeah, well, we developed into probably what you would call a traditional arrangement as far as,
You did. Okay.
but not because we intended to. It's just
Yeah.
now did we develop that way because it was in the back of our heads, that's the way it's supposed to be, or did we develop that way because that's just the way we went?
Eh,
I don't know, and I can't say that it was clearly, well, this is just, that's the task she wanted to do, and that's the task I wanna
We're
do, or is it because we were raised that way with those, ideas from, generations past?
we're
I
being
don't
in
know, but we're both happy with
we're
it.
being influenced so
Okay.
heavily now with negativity all the time from politicians
Yeah.
that are on the spotlight every day. Talk about how terrible it is to be Hispanic, how terrible it is to be a woman,
Yeah.
how terrible it is to be black, how
Right.
terrible it is. I don't get any breaks because of this, micro expressions and everything else that gets these kids believing it. That we developed hate, we designed slavery, we would.
Right.
No, that's true, and we're victims because we grow up hearing the word a million times, so we believe it.
Yep.
I mean, Oprah Winfrey and Michelle Obama sat down and did a podcast a few years ago, and I remember them whining about how much victims they are because they feel afraid to go into Target. You know, they have bodyguards, and
Yeah.
they're oligarchs themselves, and they're still doing the whine that I'm a victim.
Well, to to a small extent, I think that, just like I was saying, I don't know if the way I am now is because that's just who I am, or is because I was influenced by those nagging, like you said, we hear it, over
Oh,
and over
yeah,
and over,
yeah,
and we
yeah.
believe it. They both grew up in a time and in places where they probably had
The
some
time and
hardships in their
place
life.
is now. No,
But
it's not,
we have to realize that times have changed. I know
dude.
that I'm in charge of my choices and my attitudes
Did
regardless of what I lived through.
Now you know. But
Yeah,
did you have hardships in your life?
yeah,
Did JD Vance? JD
yeah,
Vance grew up dirt poor
yeah,
in a bad place, and how did he do?
yeah.
Does he ever say he's a victim?
Well, just like you said with the NAACP, we should be coming out of it saying, I've grown from it, I'm stronger because of it, it's part of my past,
Well,
and now I'm building my future
what
after.
what 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 race or if we talk about race, what race is the wealthiest per capita in the United States?
I have no
Asian.
idea. Okay.
Why? Does everyone say, "Oh, well, there's an Asian, let's give them everything."
They
Well,
work.
there's an Asian.
Yeah,
Well, it's part of their culture,
yeah.
and there's comedians in Asia, and I remember some of them that were listening to him and says, well, how disappointed their parents are because I'm a comedian. Because in our families, everyone either you get your choices, you can do whatever you want as long as it's a doctor or an engineer, and that's the way that he grew up.
Yeah, I saw an Asian comedian, just the other day talking about the Disney princesses. He's like, what did Snow White do? She went in, cleaned, the house a little bit, and then all of a sudden she's a princess, and she completely ignored the dwarves', economic state, social status, and all that kind of stuff. You know, an Asian woman, she'd have to work. She'd have to do this, just to get into the and then what Sleeping Beauty, what'd she do? She slept, and then she's a princess. And he's just going back and forth
Well,
about how these
that's not a great depiction of that. I
but,
most of the
he's
dwarves, some of
like
the dwarves wanted to throw her out.
yeah,
Yeah.
but, the idea of using and I've always had a problem with the way Disney movies depicted, the women as
And
victim all
Snow
the
White
time
was her
anyway.
skin, it was about her skin color.
Right. But he the distinction between how, those movies demonstrate a woman's path to her destiny and what the Asian society is about. Then he mentioned Mulan. What did Mulan do? She, got into the military. She protected her family's honor. She defeated the army, protected the king, and then Sleeping Beauty slept. But Mulan went through all of this.
It was
It's just
more.
hilarious.
It's hilarious, but it's not an actual depiction.
He's a
They
comedian.
were both moral. They were both helpful.
Yeah.
They were both giving.
Yep.
They both cared about the people around them.
Yep.
That was all. They weren't evil. They
Right.
were both positive. Even Snow White.
Yeah.
Was very positive. And that used to be all the Disney themes. I mean, that was the Disney themes, and you could tell who the evils were, the witches or whatever,
Yeah.
all that
But
stuff.
the Disney depictions have changed dramatically.
For the worse, because they've failed.
Well, I like how they've given them, displayed women of strength like Mulan,
Yeah.
as opposed to victimized women like Sleeping Beauty.
I don't think she was a victim ever.
So she, turns 16, falls asleep, and then she wakes up
For the
with a
kiss.
kiss.
Yeah.
She doesn't do anything.
But
the whole story.
she was put to sleep by an evil witch who was
Right.
jealous of her beauty.
Right.
Like who's the fairest of the land.
Well, that was Snow White. Sleeping Beauty.
Oh, I
was-
mean, okay, Snow White.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, okay, Sleeping Beauty.
the witch was just
Same.
mad at the dad.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah, cursed
Okay.
the girl at birth.
But both of them have just had. I mean, they were just nice people, and they lived through it.
Mhm.
And their honor, their morality, their giving shined and
Right.
made them heroes. And I think those are good heroes to have.
Yeah, the virtues
Yeah, it all was.
that should be lived up to.
And we should get back to some of that. We should. Now, Disney's gone a different path.
They're throwing
It's-
in all kinds of wokeism.
Of course. And wokeism isn't just about virtue and being nice and all that. It's about rejecting rejecting
Well,
normalcy.
yeah.
What we have grown to become normal.
They,
what
you know,
we've
they,
grown
they,
to see.
they'll throw in, a gay kiss in the background, like it's a common thing. It's every day, normal, accepted,
Right.
kind of thing. It reminds me of when Frozen came out. Some woman, put in social media, oh, it's two women in love with each other. She didn't take the time to realize it was two sisters.
I was going to say, I
that were
remember
helping
that
each
being in
other.
Frozen.
Yeah, but Disney had developed a reputation by that point that people believed it. Oh, it could be in there.
I have grandkids, and I thought Frozen was really wonderful for the
I
kids.
loved
They
that.
loved that.
That was
movie.
great.
They really did.
And I liked how the expression of love
Yes.
wasn't the kiss that you normally expect. It was sacrificing yourself to protect another person.
It was.
I think that was fantastic. Great message. But Disney had created that reputation of
Well,
throwing stuff in there. And so it was
And
believable until people saw the
Disney
movie.
deserves it.
Yeah.
Disney has put out stuff to shock people and to change and transition people, and it's unaccepted by
And
masses.
not just the big movies, the small animated things that they have on TV that are specifically for small kids.
It
Have
didn't.
some really disturbing.
It didn't start with Disney.
No, it didn't.
In fact, they've been trying to program kids for years. That's what Captain Planet was always about, was to get people to believe in global warming and Mother Earth and all that stuff. And
Well,
Russia,
even that started with just pick up your trash kind of thing, but it
involved in
gets
a bunch-
corrupted.
yeah,
Everything gets
evil
corrupted.
business, evil
Yeah.
things. And Russia apparently sponsored those kinds of programs for Europe so that they would get away from their nuclear energy and that they would own the energy.
That's interesting.
So they rely on Russia's oil because they shut down their nuclear plants and all that because evil companies shut down. So now it's like, Russia, give us your oil because we need to operate our factories. Yeah, they cut them. They shot themselves in the foot because they were watching those cartoons.
Huh.
I
That's a thing.
didn't realize until years later when there was word came out that Russia promoted all that stuff.
That's
It
interesting.
was they were playing the long game.
Huh.
They've hurt themselves now. I think their world dominance, Putin's world dominance attitude of taking over the countries and all that way premature. They weren't ready.
Well, yeah, he's not prepared for to back it up.
I mean, they were setting things in place to make them all weak, and it was successful. They stopped spending money.
Even during the Cold War, the fake nuclear weapons that he was parading around, that they were parading around to make people think they were all powerful,
didn't exist.
Yeah, they were faking it.
I got to take a break. It's already 7:00. We'll be back.
There's a man in D.C. He spent 6'3".
This is News Talk 560 KBLU, Yuma.
Of underage girls. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor was arrested this morning at his home on the Royal Sandringham estate. Police are investigating potential misconduct in public office. Documents in the Jeffrey Epstein file suggest the former Duke of York passed on confidential information to the billionaire sex offender while working as a trade envoy. King Charles, who last year stripped Andrew of his royal title and forced him to move home, has issued a statement. He says the authorities have his full support and the law must take its course.
Fox's Jonathan Savage in London. President Trump's also chairman of the board of peace. In this hour, he'll hold their first meeting in Washington, focusing on rebuilding Gaza after the ceasefire that stopped Israel's war on Hamas.
The original intent of the board, which will be chaired indefinitely by Trump, was to oversee the Gaza reconstruction, but has taken on a broader mandate of resolving global crises. Some see it as an attempt by the U.S. to sidestep the United Nations. Several notable absences are expected, including Britain, France, Norway, and the Vatican, all of which have declined invitations to participate.
As Fox is telling me, Jay Powers, after the board meeting, the president will travel to Georgia, touting the economy, campaigning for Republicans ahead of the midterm elections. It's day 19 of the Nancy Guthrie search, and Fox's Brian Yenes reports from Tucson, Arizona.
Investigators continue to analyze social DNA found in Guthrie's home belonging to an unknown person and male DNA found in the glove 2 miles away from the home. Forensic scientists are using investigative genetic genealogy to try to find the suspect by identifying his relatives, a process that could take weeks.
One skier remains missing, but presumed dead in the snow near Lake Tahoe, California. For the deadliest avalanche in the U.S. in 45 years, 8 people killed. America's listening to Fox News.
Progressive Commercial presents Heroes That You Know. Today's hero, your favorite diner soup. Sure, for argument's sake, I don't have one today. But deep down, you know that extra pancake on your plate says, I dislike you less than most people. Thanks, hero. What else can keep truckers going? Progressive truck insurance with primary liability limits up to $2 million. Get a quote in as little as 7 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Coverage subject to terms and limits.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not a law firm. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly, and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit information kit. 800-809-7171. That's 800-809-7171.
From the News 11 Information Desk, I'm Manoj Asasopo. Deputies have identified the man who died in a crash near Tackling on Tuesday afternoon. 32-year-old Masayela Roscoe Leon went off County 8th Street near Avenue 44 East and into a canal. The passenger escaped, but Roscoe Leon was swept away and drowned. Officials say drugs, alcohol, and possibly speed may have been factors. This investigation is ongoing. And the man accused of sexually abusing a child under the age of 5 in Yuma for more than a decade has taken a plea deal. 46-year-old James David Schultz pleaded guilty to sexual conduct with a minor, attempted sexual exploitation, and child molestation. Probation is not an option, and he'll be required to register as a sex offender for life. Schultz faces a presumptive 20-year prison sentence and will be sentenced on March 9th. Catch us on the TV side on News 11 every weekday at 5, 6, and 10 p.m. for your latest weather, local, sports news.
Today, we're talking with aphids and whiteflies about Safina insecticide from BASF.
We just got nailed with it.
So tell us, how you feeling?
Really, really weird.
And you still want to devour this field?
No way, bro.
There you have it, folks. Safina insecticide is specifically engineered to disorient aphids and whiteflies so they can't eat. And when they can't eat, they can't destroy.
They'll protect your alfalfa from aphids with Safina insecticide. Always read and follow label directions.
There's a man in D.C. He stands 6'3".
AM 560 KPLU. Russ Clark with you. Chris is here.
I'm here.
Yeah, I just got a call, which was nice.
What's the news?
Prince Andrew was just arrested. I guess people saw that coming.
Well, like I was saying when you mentioned it before, I haven't seen anything that would be definitive enough evidence in my mind to arrest him. So I wonder what they've gathered on him.
I have no idea. It'll probably be in this article a little bit, but he was very tied to Epstein, and Epstein was arrested for young girls and stuff like that, and apparently Andrew was a big connection to him. So maybe he was involved in the same things. Let's take a phone call. You're on the air.
Yes, sir. That's exactly what they're talking about, Prince Andrew.
Yeah.
I was watching him on TV.
Oh, you are? Okay. Well,
yeah, he stepped on it big time.
He had some good genes there born into royalty. There's some advantages of going that. He's 66 years old, but I think he's going to be losing a lot of the cushion he had in life.
Yeah.
Well, with all the stuff that's coming across, people need to pay for their crime.
Yeah.
And they've surrounded themselves with guards to guard them from all this stuff. Now, with all the fame of Epstein and everybody that's involved with it, with all the names that were taken and putting in, it's come to pass.
Yeah.
You got to pay for what you were doing.
Yeah.
But I called you were talking about AI. You know who Taurus is, right? The wrestler is turned comedian.
Who?
I'm saying it wrong. Taurus. The big man. He's a comedian, wrestler, and all that. He's on Gutfield a lot.
Taurus.
Taurus, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, you know what?
Yeah, a great guy.
Yeah. Well, AI came to him. Well, actually, Hollywood did, and they wanted to have mimic his voice, have permission to mimic his voice and his image, but they didn't want him.
Yeah, that's what they said. For cartoons and stuff, I guess they wanted him.
Yeah, for cartoons and stuff. And he said, Hollywood, get ready to disappear. With AI, there ain't going to be no more Hollywood. You're not going to need actors anymore.
Yeah. Okay, it's Tyrus.
Tyrus.
Yeah.
Tyrus.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's part of that. And I was laughing about it last night. Hey, I guess there was a major hospital in New York that decided to end gender-affirming care for minors.
Yeah,
it's
it's coming to an end. In fact, the Plastic Surgeon Association, the largest one, has said they're not doing them anymore under the age of 19.
Yep.
But there was a lawsuit that settled about 2 weeks ago, or a 16-year-old girl that had a double mastectomy sued and won, and that's waking people up more than anything is the money. They were doing it for the money, Gilbert.
Yep.
And now the money's going to dry up. They're not going to do it. It's a sad state of affairs.
Yeah.
Well, what's sad? She's 16 years old, so they had to get permission from her parents.
No.
To have that. No, you can say no.
Not in a lot of states. Not in a lot of states.
Oh my goodness! So
they just came home and said, "Guess what, parents? I'm a boy. I already had a double mastectomy." Yeah.
So what does it tell you about the state representatives? Like we were talking yesterday.
Child
about
abuse,
all the
man.
leaders.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And we're just we're a country of what? Lack of morality. That's what we are right now. Well, we're starting to change things. Thank God.
It's coming back around, yeah.
Yeah, have you noticed how much in the news they're talking about Ash Wednesdays? How many people are coming on the TV with their cross, the thing on the forehead?
Yeah.
How many X coming out? I've never seen so much in a long time with that little mark on their forehead for Ash Wednesday. What do you think?
I think it's more obvious. It's more, you see more athletes wearing Christian crosses. You're seeing a lot more expression of faith, and it's accepted.
Yep.
Yes. Or before, it was not accepted. You were bad if you did that.
Well, and things like that, they shift. They go from one side to the other, and I think we're in a moment of shifting back to recognizing faith, Christianity specifically, as a good thing. It's okay to say I'm a Christian and I believe in these things. And it used to be, the end of your career if you did. Now it's a good
both
thing.
your career. Yeah. So one more thing before I go. There is a meeting this Saturday, and it's do you want to save the Republic? Well, so do we. Foothills Republican candidates are meeting with the like-minded conservatives in order to bring the Republican Party into line with the American First agenda.
Oh,
Think it's
really?
friends? Yes.
I think the Republican Party's mostly there, man.
Well, there are a lot of people that don't think the Republican Party is doing the best they can, and we see it quite a bit.
Well,
we do.
yeah. Well,
But we're working to change that image.
There's a subjectivity, and most people are, going to have their own opinions on what direction to go. But I think more and more are aligning with Donald Trump. The poll numbers show us that time and time again. The poll numbers amongst Republicans, America First, is continuing to climb. It's not going down.
You know what, Russ? You and I both know we can shift the poll wherever we want. Look at KYMA the other day. They said only 49 people believe that we should have immigration laws as we do. 49 people, 49%.
Yeah.
Where did you get this 49%? At Starbucks? You know what I'm saying?
All polls should be questioned. All polls should be questioned. There's no question. But the trend is definitely there because it's in multiple polls and it's going across. And I see it myself, and I see more and more. The first agenda is it's not 100%, never will be. But I think it's right to keep talking about it. It's good.
And the thing is, bring your friends, your ideas, bring your ideas. And from what I understand, this meeting, share your ideas. You're not going to be thrown out. And the bottom line is, we the people can elect constitutional conservatives, both locally and nationally. And when it's going to be 8 a.m. Saturday, this coming Saturday, the 21st, at Izzy's Diner.
Locally matters a ton, and that's what we have so much more control over. And if we can get good, people in all these positions that we agree with, then we won't have problems in the schools. We won't have problems in a lot of places that we do.
Yeah, the federal level gets the attention in the elections, but it's really the locals that have an impact on our lives
Starts
every
at home.
day.
And the locals are the one that protect the Donald Trumps in the Senate and the House. And we need to put the right people there too. But that comes from our state.
Start here and then expand.
Yep. We have to start here because with a weak county or weak city, what do you have? Nothing. Our school boards need to be, or I should say, Yuma Union High School Board needs to have really strong conservative elected to that position.
We're not there yet, but we've got to get there.
Yep. And I know our District 1, I believe we have 3 strong, if not 4 strong conservative
and
board members.
and they're a better school district for having it. I
Yep.
mean, it's just
Yes,
wonderful
yes.
what's going on
Been
over there.
there.
Yeah.
I've been there to many, many, many meetings, and I've seen it change already.
Yeah.
And that's what we need. And everybody's welcome, Russ, to this meeting. Democrats, Libertarians, if you're conservative, come out and talk.
Well, I gotta go. I gotta go knock on a door and invite him there because I was driving to my daughter's house yesterday to drop off my 3-year-old grandson, and drove by a house right down the street from her. It had a big sign out front says 100% anti-Trump.
All right, that's good.
Well, it's nice to not be 99. You know,
Right.
100% anti-Trump.
They're committed.
I
Gotta
wanted
go.
to knock on the door and just
Well, the first,
have a
I,
chat.
what I want, the thing is to have a civil conversation while you're against Trump. What has Trump done that makes you anti-Trump? I mean, without, and I don't want to listen to their spasmic things that they've heard from the news. I want to know how they felt personally. What has he done to them that's created that hate?
Oh, I agree. I just ask him that and listen.
And that's what we
Yep.
should be doing.
Take notes.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Wow.
And this meeting, this meeting's going to be at Izzy's Diner at 11375 South Foothills Boulevard.
I like the place. 8
Yeah,
o'clock.
come on. Yeah, it's for Izzy's and bring your thoughts. Bring
Well,
your thoughts.
I'm gonna bring the guy that's 100% anti-Trump.
I wish you would. And I love talking to them people.
What was the name of the group that's meeting?
It's just called the Republican Cans. We can.
The
Republican cans. Okay.
like a Mexican, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
Republicans can do this. Yeah.
Anyone can. We
Yeah,
can do
there
this.
you go.
Okay.
We can do it. It's about the American First agenda.
All right.
We the people. All right.
Thank you, sir.
We catch you.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Yeah, I mean, out in the shop, I have people of Mexican descent out
There a couple of them.
there. Yeah, I do. Quite a few. And, I talked to them about, some of the jobs they're doing. I'm always intrigued about what they're doing, putting an engine in a car, taking an engine out, whatever. I said, you're going to get that done today, you think? Because I look at that job like, oh, man, I'm a Mexican.
Yep.
I said, all right, buddy, you go.
Yeah.
You go right ahead.
Yeah.
You get it
And,
done. I like that attitude, man.
and we were talking about the way attitudes of people are raised with. I was raised in the Midwest and never met a Mexican person ever, and all I knew about Mexicans was what I was told, and the siesta and all that kind of stuff. And
Oh, yeah.
and then I get here and I think these people work their butts off.
Oh, yeah. Get involved in agriculture until
Yeah.
it's lazy. Okay?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they are Mexicans. They can get the job
Mexicans.
done. And and now that I'm living in the culture for the last 30 some years,
Well, we live in you, but we're in the culture.
yeah, if I want, if I need something built at the house or something like that, I don't go to, I don't look in well, I was going to say the phone book, but we don't use the phone book anymore. But I call somebody, I say, hey, somebody can do this. Oh, yeah. It's all the word of mouth, it's all the community coming together saying, this guy's great. I'll call him, and they show up,
Oh, it's
they
great
get the
to
job
get-
done, they
great
go
to get-
home.
Great to get referrals.
Yeah. It's just a fantastic community. I
Especially
love
one of
it.
those Mexican.
Yeah.
I get
I'm
one of
glad
those
I'm
guys.
glad I'm a part of it. Yeah. Gilbert was talking about, everyone's welcome at the thing, and he mentioned libertarians. I did a couple of those websites where like, what's your political leaning or something like that. They think I'm a libertarian.
You are.
You think so?
Yeah.
Huh. Well,
no, you're a Republican, but
your
your thought process is a lot of libertarian.
I thought that was interesting. I was like,
Yeah.
huh.
I got a comment from Ken Rosebeer this morning.
Okay.
He says, Russ, what great early morning entertainment. Switch on the radio and hear some guy describing his colonoscopy. Can't top that. Thank you, Ken Rosebeer, for that observation. That's awesome. Yeah, that's a way to start the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see if we can't keep more of that stuff coming.
I'll talk about anything.
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
Nothing's off the.
We don't have time. It's just between you and me.
Yeah, nobody's listening.
Yeah, nobody's listening. It's just us. Let's see what I got. Oh, Mel wants to call in this morning. Well, go right ahead, Mel. He probably wants to talk about his colonoscopy. Oh, quite often I have the phone on, on the hold or whatever. But I took it off. Told him to call in. So if you're not Mel, don't call me. We'll give Mel a shot. He's calling all the way from Kansas.
Hey, I used to live.
That's where Dorothy is. Let's take a phone call. You're on the air.
Good morning, sir.
Well, good morning. How are you, Mel?
I'm doing well. The reason I called, I know that you're going into the hospital tomorrow.
That's correct.
That's correct. Well, I don't know if you remember, but about 3 Christmases ago, Christmas Eve, I ccalled in from the hospital.
I do.
Because I had just had the same procedure that you're having done
Well,
an hour before I called in.
Oh, tell me it's a piece of cake and I have nothing to worry about.
That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what I'm calling to tell you. It is. It is a piece of cake. The only thing is for about a month, you're not supposed to lift up anything any heavier than a gallon of milk because you have to you'll have a little scar right up there on your chest, and they don't want you to take a chance on pulling things loose in there. But other than that, there's nothing to it.
Yeah.
So
it's going to be hard for me to be tied down now.
Well, that's the thing. If you're a person that's generally very active for about a month, a little over a month, you're going to have to be sort of cool it. But there's nothing to it. And like I say, they had just finished doing me when I called you. When I finally got through to you on that day. So there's nothing to it.
I remember that. Well, I'll call you an hour after mine.
You do that. You do that. Marcy and I be waiting to make sure that everything's going well. But other than that, it's the only reason I wanted to call. Take care. God bless you. And then you're in our prayers.
Thank you, man. Take care, man.
Okay. Bye-bye. Okay, friend. Bye-bye.
Mr. Mel.
Yeah.
He called me right after he had the procedure. Called it up. And he's right about they don't want you to move around because they put wires running from your collarbone
into your heart. That's crazy.
And if you are active, you'll be pulling those wires all over the place.
Right.
And you won't feel them, but you could damage that and pull the connection away from the heart, dislodge it, which would mean another surgery.
Right.
And apparently the body recognizes the wires, doesn't like it, tries to remove foreign.
Yeah.
And then realize they can't, they'll start covering it with scar tissue.
Right. And that's what's going to hold it in.
Which super glues it right down, and then it's not going to move so much. But you got to give it time to get that scarring done and to get that done, so that the wires are more firmly put in place. That you can go back to being an idiot.
Go back to being active.
Okay, or being active. And that's depending on who it is. I've heard 2 weeks of being really careful, but even after 2 weeks, you don't raise your left elbow above your shoulder. You don't reach over your head. Apparently that or behind your back. Everything's a very gentle movement. In fact, I'll come out of there with a sling on my left arm, so I don't move that arm.
Right.
But then they warn you. Well, you don't really want to not move it because then it'll lock up. Okay, make up your mind, Doc.
Yes.
I mean, give me some real direction here. Make up your mind.
Don't move it, but move it a little bit.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you move it a little bit, they say. And you won't feel anything negative from it, which makes it dangerous because
you can't know that there's a problem.
Well, yeah, you'll just reach. I'm afraid of sleeping because in your sleep you move your arm around. So I might try sleeping with the sling on or something just to remind me not to move that arm, because a lot of times I'll grab my pillow over my head or something and bring it down or something. You do that while you're sleeping.
Yeah,
I do that in the middle of the night. I sleep like I throw everything around. I can't find things in the morning. I thrash around.
It was here when I went to bed.
So yeah, I don't know where it is now. Somebody came in and took it. So I have to be careful of that one, sleeping. Just
Well, I'm sure, it's been done often enough that people have slept
Of course.
and it's worked.
Of
So,
course, and
yeah.
well, and it's done often enough too that people pull the wires into the wrong place. They go back in for a follow-up surgery. I mean,
Right.
it's not a high percentage, but it's a
It
percentage.
happens, yeah.
I'm still gonna go to the gym, even if I have to sit there.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you wanna maintain your habit because
Yeah.
once you get out of a habit,
Yeah.
it's hard to get back into it. So, yeah, maintain the habit, go there, do some walking or something.
That bicycle of mine though is gonna be sitting still for a couple months. That's not gonna move.
Well, you should be able to do, some light,
No.
just gently.
No, I can't be trusted.
Interest.
Yeah, remember that's like a BMX.
Uh-huh.
And it's got a battery assist, so it's a fast BMX, and I go off road a lot, and I've crashed it a couple times in
Yeah.
the last 6 months, and I
Yeah.
can't afford that.
Yeah, I remember back when I rode a regular bicycle, and, I loved it, and I'd be jumping on things and
Yeah.
going fast, and yeah, I'd have a hard time too. Once I get on a bicycle, I'd be pushing it, so.
I jump right over curbs and everything. I mean, I got those great big 4-inch tires.
Yeah.
And I jump over curbs and on curbs. I don't look, in where the handicap is, where you can go up the ramp. I don't even
Right.
bother with I just do
No.
the curb.
Yeah, you just pop it.
Yeah, I just go, man. I don't care. And yeah, I've eaten some pavement.
I, I was running I destroyed my bike, because I did so many things on
Oh.
and the front wheel was warped a little bit, and every once in a while, I'd start rubbing on the fork.
Yeah.
So I'd reach forward and kick it back into alignment as I was riding.
Oh, you're almost a
Everything's fine.
mechanic. Look
Yeah.
at that. Yeah.
Riding past the pretty girl in school, riding past her one day, I said, "Hey, how's it going?" And it starts rubbing. Went to kick it, but I went toe first, toe went into the spikes, flipped me up in the air, boom, come down on my back, and she said, "Are you okay?" I said, "Yeah, that was a good one."
It's always nice to have an impression on a
Yeah,
young lady.
right in
Yeah,
front
have
of
an
her.
impression. That's not the girl you married, is it?
That is not. No.
Okay, I don't think so.
I didn't have the confidence in high school
She
to
walked away
get
from that
anyone's
one.
attention. No.
Yeah. I'll get back on the bike, but it's gonna be a couple months.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanna make sure I'm all healed up and because I don't trust myself.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you gotta know who you are. That's who you
Well,
are. So.
I'm gonna push it.
Yep.
I'm gonna push it a little bit. And I know that I'm strong enough and in good enough shape, I can take a
You can,
tumble.
yeah.
I won't be able to take a tumble for a while,
Well, and
without
you're in
doing some
good enough shape that your body can wait for a little bit until you get back
I hope so.
into the game.
Well, and I've already worked with my trainer, on that. We'll be doing some stuff, even if it's walking on a treadmill. I don't
Right.
care whatever it is. Maybe do some things with the legs or something lightly.
Yeah, because even if you're not working that part of the body, your heart is gonna be pumping
Yeah, I
in
don't know.
response to whatever
I'm
you
not
do.
as
So,
worried about that as because I can monitor that.
yeah.
But
Yeah, just
like
take it
you
easy.
don't want to jostle yourself. I mean, for the first 2 weeks, I won't do anything on the legs even. But
Right.
after that, I've worked hard for 2 years to get to the point where I am. And I'm not done. But I'll
Maintain a little bit.
I want to maintain a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah, if I can, and some flexibility if I can.
Well, that's always good to do. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Keep your stretching going.
I'll be going to the gym.
Do some Tai Chi.
Maybe I can just pick up some equipment or
Have you ever
clean up or something.
Have you ever done Tai Chi?
No, I've watched it.
I love it.
Dude, I don't understand.
I'm not committed enough to do it often, but when I have done it, I loved it.
I don't understand it. I mean, it looks like slow movement, but it must be like your concentrated tightness of your muscles or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Okay.
You're focusing on concentrating on the body parts that you're moving, and it builds a certain discipline to block everything out and concentrate on the minute details of your your posture and slowing yourself down and thinking about everything consciously. I really nice, peaceful, calming, and at the same time, if you do it often enough, you'll develop, it's basically, slow motion martial arts,
Well, they say you can
which
develop strength.
yeah, you can develop strength because you can tense the muscles as you go. But those are the motions of martial arts, and the body remembers the motions. So if you get into a scrap, that you can take, body will take over a little bit too. So it's just got all kinds of benefits all the way around. I tried yoga, did not take it, but Tai Chi I like a lot.
Did you wear yoga pants?
No.
Guys aren't allowed to.
I don't
I
know.
just checking on you.
I don't know how those became, an out and about town clothing option because
I'm not
you're
complaining.
not hiding anything in yoga pants.
It's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Oh,
But
yeah.
but not everyone should
I'm
wear
not
them.
not everyone should wear them.
Yeah.
But and I'm not necessarily opposed to, some people doing it, but, I'm surprised society is like, "Yeah, that's cool. Let's just
Um,
show everything," but,
Melanie showed me a disturbing video or show or picture, sorry. With AI out there, you can do about
Oh, yeah.
anything. And I don't know who did this one, but it shows Donald Trump as a trans.
Oh my goodness.
Well, the same as that guy that just shot the wife and kid at the hockey rink,
Right.
just kinda like that. He's an ugly woman. She said, "Sure hope Trump does not go trans." I'm kind of in agreement with that.
Yeah. Yeah, for a lot of reasons, yeah.
And she also wrote that we are also Americans.
Yeah. You can,
Not
yeah.
just the Mexicans,
Yeah,
Americans.
Americans, yeah. I was reading the other day, and the caller that said, Hollywood is gonna be dying out. There's apparently a couple of videos of, AI generated Tom Cruise fighting, um, I think it was Brad Pitt, that looks and sounds like both of them.
I heard about it.
Very,
I didn't watch it. I heard
accurate.
about it. Someone told me about
Yeah,
it. But,
and so a lot of people are concerned. They're like, "It looks real. It looks legit." And, people are saying, "Why do we need"
oh, well, but
and
there's gonna be another
there's
John Wayne movie.
yeah, yeah. And yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
some people are gonna be like, "Great, I wanna see the Duke again." But other people are like, "No, that, there needs to be, this industry, that's built on people and creativity and artistry. We can't, let AI take over." And then other people are saying, "Well, the AI only knows what it learns from the people that are already
You're
out there, and it's
you're
stealing."
not gonna stop it.
It's yeah, it's
Cartoons have been around forever.
Yeah.
It's just now, what used to take thousands of man-hours to
Yeah.
do a cartoon now takes no man-hours. It just or
Well,
very little
it
man-hours.
used to take voice actors.
Yeah.
We could duplicate visually all kinds of things, but we couldn't duplicate the human voice.
I think
Now
it's
we can duplicate the human voice.
I think mostly but mostly they still use voice actors and actresses, but, maybe
Well, like
maybe we
this
get away from
AI
that too.
this AI fight, they had the 2 of them talking to each other, and you couldn't
Yeah,
tell the difference.
with their voice and
Yeah.
everything.
So, yeah, it's not going away.
Yeah.
We do need to address it. There's issues that need to be, but we don't know the issues until they come up. And
You know what
so
the
as
issue
they
is?
come up, we need to
You know what the big issue is?
deal with them. What's that?
The Hollywood people won't get paid.
Well, and, there's a lot of people, not just the stars and the bigwigs. There's a lot of people that are just that's their living. They're making a living. All
Correct.
the, all those names that we don't look at
Correct.
in the credits.
200 years ago, we
It's
didn't have anybody that did that
right.
made a living like that.
Yeah.
You know,
It's a big
they
industry.
there probably was the stage actors that were complaining about Hollywood taking away
I'm sure.
entertainment.
I'm sure.
What are we gonna do in Broadway?
And they're still around. Not,
But not as healthy as they would be
No.
if we'd have a lot more of those if we
It
didn't have pictures.
Society,
Motion
it's gonna change
It's changing.
things,
It's
but
gonna change.
it's not gonna go away. People have been complaining the last, 5, 6 years since COVID that people aren't going to the movie theaters, and it's all being streamed. We're adapting to the new situation. It takes time.
Yeah,
It's gonna shake out, but, the transition period will be difficult for some people.
I would rather watch on my home set than go to the movies if it's
Yeah.
available.
I like the experience of going to the theater, but it is so convenient to just click it on your
Yeah.
TV. I can be sitting there, doing something on my phone when it gets boring or something like that.
Yeah.
I can pause it. I can put captions on.
I mean, you can
There's
pick up
so many.
you can pick up your phone during a movie?
Oh yeah,
You're not married?
she's on the phone too.
Oh.
That's our thing. We're watching it
okay.
together, but we're both got our own thing going on our phones too at the
Wow.
same time. Yeah, but then we'll stop it. We'll go get something to eat
Sure.
or go to the restroom or something like that, and
Sure.
it's just so much more convenient than going into town, paying all that money. I do like the experience, but
I have made a huge effort to put my phone away
yeah,
at Helen's request. And I gotta modify that a little bit because I get to where I don't answer messages for, like, from afternoon on until the next morning.
mhm,
And
and
some
that's
of
fine.
yeah, some of them I'd like to have
Yeah.
gotten earlier. So I'm gonna have to modify a little bit and maybe schedule time when I am looking
You
at
know,
the phone.
you do know that there was a time in our lives where, people couldn't get a hold of us until the next day.
I'm old,
And
I
we
do
all
know
did
that, I remember that.
everybody was okay with that, we
Yeah.
survived just fine, but, I have
Well
to remind myself of that sometimes is, we didn't have this before,
I
and we survived. We
I
were
didn't even need a watch because mom told me to be home when the streetlights came on.
Yeah,
Yeah, the streetlights were my
yeah,
clock. Like, streetlights come on, you get home, get your butt home.
yep,
Yeah, and
yeah,
that
and, but and, mom didn't know where we were.
no,
No, we're
no.
go away,
If
come back
if
come back when it's dark,
yeah,
and everyone was okay with that, but nowadays, they've got the tracking on the phones, the kids have a phone just so they can be tracked, it's just things are shifting in society.
um, I have a question here from a listener. It says, "Good luck tomorrow," which is thank you.
Yeah,
Have a speedy recovery.
yep,
Who will be the substitute host? There won't be one.
yeah,
I'm taping a show.
yep.
In fact, I'll be taping the rest of it today. I've already taped a segment of it. And, will it be on Facebook? No. Don't have a way to do that. Um, I mean, there is a way to do it, but it'd have
Yeah.
to take a body to do it, and I don't have that body available
Well, should be able to upload an audio
later, maybe. But it'd
file.
be nice to do it live. I mean, I
Yeah,
stream live.
right,
Can't do that. This computer sitting right here does it,
yeah,
but somebody would have to come in here and push the play button.
I'm not gonna do
See, you won't do it.
that. But you should be able to upload an archived audio file that people could look at later, because that's the nice thing about
You know, it starts at 6. I don't have to be at the hospital. Let me think about that. I could come in at 6
and start it.
and hit the start button. I
That's
just
up to
need
you. It's your
Cindy
call.
to tell her to come in and hit the stop
Stop.
button.
People be
Maybe.
looking at an empty studio all day. Stranger things have happened. Some of
Could
the
you
things that people
I
are
mean,
watching online
I
24/7.
think I'm gonna do that. There won't be the pictures,
Uh-huh.
so I'll have to put an avatar up there or something, and do that.
It'd be interesting to see how long
So I'm gonna
people
figure that out. I think I can do that. I think I can. I think because I don't have to be in the hospital till 7.
I would do that. I would leave it running as a Facebook Live all day and just see how many people
No.
click in
No.
just to see an empty studio.
No.
People watch that nest of the eagles. They watch all
Yeah.
kinds of things
Yeah.
just because it's on. I'd be fascinated.
No, I'm gonna you know what I could do?
What's that?
I could come in at 6 and put the camera on my dog
You're
and
not
leave
gonna
it
leave
there
the
for
dog
3
here
hours.
all day all by himself.
For 3 hours, I could, yeah.
Wouldn't somebody need to do the breaks? Or
No,
no, you
no,
could
no.
let the computer would take that care of
Computer's
that.
gonna run the whole thing
Facebook would
because I'm gonna do this whole show, give it over to, Jeff. Jeff programs it all in. He programs all the breaks, and so everything's automated at that point, so the whole 3 hours will run automated. And I could put the dog in here and put the cameras on, and you can see what Lexi does.
And that would force you to come back in to turn it off to get
Well, I
Lexi.
won't be coming in, but somebody will.
Yeah.
I had send Helen over here to get the dog. Say, "Helen, go pick up my dog."
that sounds
I
like
think
a
I think I
potential
could do
plan.
that.
Yeah.
Think we should. Maybe I should give Lexi a bath before that, so she's gonna be on camera.
Ah, she
don't care.
Yeah, she's fine.
I could put her in that little cage there too.
Don't put her in a cage for hours at a time.
Yeah. No.
Well, dogs are lair animals. They do like small.
She was
spaces.
crate trained.
Yeah.
I mean, when she was little, I kept her in a crate for 2 years. Every night she'd go and just run right in the crate. I mean, that was her comfort. It still is her comfort. I mean, she goes in there.
We have a little corner with a firewood holder next to our fireplace, and my dog just likes to scoot underneath and curl up in this place. That's where they're happy.
Well, she sees the crate as being still to this day as comfort.
In our mind, that's a bad thing, but in the dog's mind, this is a nice, comfy spot. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and when I first got her, and I raised the dog for 6 weeks. That's why she's so neurotic. But she would always sleep in the crate, at night, right by the bed. But she didn't think anything else. She knew it was time to go to bed. She just ran into the crate. That was just back to life. That's where she went.
Yeah, when I turn off the TV, my dog's like, "Oh, it's time to go to bed."
Oh, they know?
Yep.
My dog don't wait for that anymore. I mean, she's getting older.
She's
like 6 years old.
Tells
She knows
it's time.
Oh, she knows when it's time. She just goes. She don't wait for me. I'll be back.
This month, Pure Talk is honoring Jackson and Lincoln by offering unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data for just $25 a month. Meanwhile, Big Wireless is honoring Benjamin Franklin by charging families hundreds of dollars for the same 5G service. What's up with that? Ben Franklin wasn't even a president. When you switch to Pure Talk, you'll be in business with an American wireless company that supports our vets in a big way and keeps all their customer service in this country. That's important. And you'll be on the same towers the big carriers use, so you'll get the same 5G service without the inflated price. So hang on to your Benjamins and switch to Pure Talk for a Jackson and a Lincoln. No contract, no hidden fees. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and you'll get 50% off your first month when you switch. That's pound 250, Mike Rowe, for an American wireless company that is truly unprecedented. Pure Talk.
Join us for Yuma Salutes America's 250, a star-spangled celebration filled with live music, family fun, and patriotic pride. Enjoy food and drinks, a kids zone, and a stunning patriotic drone show lighting up the night sky, featuring live performances by Bobby McClendon, Parma Lee, and headliner Randy Houser. Saturday, April 18th from 3 to 11 p.m. at Desert Sun Stadium. Tickets are on sale now at umaaz.gov/America250.
We'll have sunny skies and a high of 68 today. Southwest winds at 10 to 15. Clear and 50 for tonight. Sunny at 66 on Friday. Northwest winds at 5 to 10. 45 and clear on Friday night. Beautiful weekend coming. We'll start with 72 for the high Saturday, up to 81. Partly cloudy on Sunday.
What's up, Yuma, and hello, Russ Clark Show listeners. Johnny Porter here, and I just made the switch to Allo Fiber, and it's a game changer. Lightning fast speeds for streaming, working from home, and gaming. No buffering or slowed down speeds. It's time to ditch the glitch and switch to Allo Fiber.
This is as real as it gets. Get up, get kids up, feed the dog, feed the kids, out the door, work, pick up kids, dinner, bath, bed, repeat. You strive all day to make life better for them. So why not make life better for you? Get strive-free checking at Avner Financial. No frills, no fuss, no monthly fee. Open a strive-free checking today at avnerfinancial.org. Certain restrictions apply. Federally insured by NCUA.
In a world where Wi-Fi battles rage and bandwidth is never enough, one family dares to connect it all. Work from home, influence all day, stream all night, and game to win. Deadlines, downloads, and dance-offs, all happening under one roof, flawlessly. Can your internet provider do that? Fiber fuel your household at allofiber.com/all-in.
March 6th through the 8th, it's the 33rd annual Midnight at the Oasis. An entire weekend of food, entertainment, and hundreds of classic cars and trucks. Now's the time to get your weekend passport tickets. These will get you into all of the events all weekend long. Go to our website to buy yours today. Midnight at the Oasis, March 6th through the 8th.
This month, Pure Talk is honoring Jackson and Lincoln by offering unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data for just 25 bucks a month. Meanwhile, Big Wireless is honoring Benjamin Franklin by charging families hundreds of dollars for the same 5G service. What's up with that? Ben Franklin wasn't even a president. When you switch to Pure Talk, you'll be in business with an American wireless company that supports our vets in a big way and keeps all their customer service in this country. That's important. And you'll be on the same towers the big carriers use, so you'll get the same 5G service without the inflated price. So hang on to your Benjamins and switch to Pure Talk for a Jackson and a Lincoln. No contract, no hidden fees. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and you'll get 50% off your first month when you switch. That's pound 250, Mike Rowe, for an American wireless company that is truly unprecedented. Pure Talk.
There's a man in D.C.
Hey, I'm glad to give you Russ Clark with you. Chris Larson here.
I'm here.
Kevin Tennell asked me not to put the dog in here. Just put Russ Clark bobblehead in.
There you
I've
go.
got a couple of those. You know, we could have dueling bobbleheads.
But a bobblehead in an empty room is kind of boring. You need something to shake it up.
The dog, maybe. You know, I mean, I could put peanut butter on the bobblehead.
You can hope for an earthquake.
The dog will come in and makes her.
Nice.
Well, now Melanie's the one that told me no cage because Gene Hackman's dog starved to death in a cage.
Right. Yeah.
Of course, that took a week.
Yeah. That
I wrote her back and said she can afford not to eat for 3 hours. You know? She said, assuming no emergency, like, you know, I don't get. Well, I'm not going to come in and let her out. Somebody else will.
Right.
But, besides, if she's left in the room by herself, it could be way more entertaining if she decided to tear up the electronics. So put peanut butter
There you
all over
go.
the electronics.
Then you'd get some views.
I used to have one of those toys. I mean, it starts with a Kong or something, Kong toy or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's a hard plastic the dog can't tear up. And you put peanut butter in it, and then they struggle with it and roll it around, try to lick out the peanut butter. Maybe I'll put her in here with that.
There you go.
Probably take her 3 hours to stop chewing on it. Yeah, that was a good toy. She liked that. I don't own peanut butter though. I'd have to buy some peanut butter.
You don't have peanut butter?
I don't have peanut butter.
You gotta have peanut butter.
No, I
It's a
don't have
staple.
peanut butter. Is it a staple?
Yeah.
I don't have bread.
Well, you don't need bread. You can just scoop out the
Okay.
peanut butter.
All right. Campaign trail. Donald Trump is in the campaign trail. Now he's not running.
Right.
He's out
gotta-
assisting, and I think that's what we need.
Yeah. The midterms are coming up.
Oh, he's
Sooner than you
he's
expect.
already out. Carolyn Levitt says he's on that Trump will visit 2 local businesses, give a speech on his efforts to make a life affordable for working people. That's his message. It's in Georgia. He's going to be there in Georgia today.
Okay.
He's there now. And then he's going to go to Rome, Georgia, northwest part of the state. Comes with early voting underway in the special election to replace former Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Already?
Yeah.
I thought she was going to finish off her term.
Apparently not.
Oh, interesting.
This article says once a MAGA firebrand, she had a major falling out with the president before stepping down from Congress at the beginning of the year. And yeah, she was a firebrand. She was wacko.
A little bit.
I liked her though. I grew not to.
Yeah, I got annoyed by some of her antics. But you know, you couldn't fault her commitment to the MAGA. She was all in, and
But
then
but then
and
for
then it shifted.
some reason, it shifted. I don't know why. Now she shows up on CNN and stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going on with her. Yep. I don't know. Let's take a phone call. You're on the air.
Morning, Russ.
Well, good morning.
I said my prayer for you this morning.
Thank you, sir. I felt it.
Did you really? I talked to Napa Corporate.
Oh gosh. Okay.
They expect to see your arm sling.
Yeah.
With the number 9 Chase Elliott on it.
Chase Elliott's doing that. Yeah, he's great. That's great.
Since you're a ex-franchise owner, they want to see you with an arm sling that says Chase Elliott, number 9.
I'll do what I can, man.
And a case of duct tape's coming for 150 mile an hour duct tape.
I like that. I love NASCAR, man. I used to go to NASCAR a lot. I don't anymore, but man, I'd go to NASCAR 5-6 times a year or go to a NASCAR race.
Well, I'll call the team back, see if I can get a sticker of yours put on it.
No. I'm good.
Right on the bumper of it, so Joey can have a look at it.
All right,
well,
man.
Like I said, I'm praying for you. Everything will be cool.
Thank you,
Frankie.
sir. I'm still a big baby about the whole thing, That's all.
Well, now, when you need to be boosted, the heli can hook up to those 2 wires and just give you a good shot.
Do not start giving out ideas. And she's a wonderful lady. She wouldn't do that anyway.
I know. I don't know. She was pretty spunky that day I talked to her. I don't know.
Well, I'm trying to keep her wonderful. We'll be there. I'm gonna do my part.
Well, you have a lovely day. Thank
you too, man. Sure. Bye bye. Helen wouldn't do that to me.
No. Not obvious.
There's days she may feel like it, but yeah, she would do that.
Time to wake up.
The amount of candidates that want to take Marjorie Taylor Greene's place, 18.
Really?
18 people. Now
Wow.
that's a heavy, how everything's gerrymandered.
Right.
And some of it's just based on, like the north part of Georgia is like so solid Republican that area is just going to be Republican seat normally because that's just who lives there. It's kind of like the opposite of San Francisco.
Right.
And everybody wants to be president. Now, the president says, we have a lot of people who want to take Marjorie Taylor Greene's place and many, many candidates. And I have to choose one. They say whoever I endorse is going to win. We have a lot of good candidates that want to take her place, So the president earlier this month did make an endorsement. He's backing Clay Fuller, former local district attorney. And it makes a big sense. I mean, big difference. I don't know what his success rate is.
Right.
It's got to be 80 or something. There's many candidates in the race, but no one's going to win a majority probably. You have to win 50%.
Right.
To have the race be over. Otherwise, there's a runoff.
Because it's a special election. I'm thinking of
special election,
the primary stuff.
Well, and it's going to be a runoff if no candidate gets 50%.
How many stay in it for the runoff?
It does not say, but it's just like we have a runoff in the city for city councilman.
Right.
If there's 3 seats, we'll keep 6 people. If there's nobody who gets 50%, if you get 50, you're already in. It's going to be March 10th coming up. The runoff's going to be April 7th. And that's probably when we'll find out. But yeah, I think the Trump endorsement's going to go huge. That's a big Trump country.
I don't know if it would have an impact on the first roundabout.
It'll have
just so many.
It'll have an impact. It won't have 50%. Maybe.
Right.
Yeah. I know what you mean. Trump stop in Georgia is expected to spotlight inflation, energy costs, and unemployment. You know why?
Why is that?
Well, that's what the Democrats are saying all the time. Is man, everything's so expensive. It's inflation. It doesn't matter that it came under Biden.
Right.
Inflation hasn't stopped.
Well, and
it's still 2.5%.
I don't know of any time in my lifetime where people have been, the prices are great. No, it's always prices are too high.
Inflation has been a reality, and the Fed's looking for 2%.
Yeah.
3% where we've been, or just under. It's under 3.
Yeah. Historically, it averages out. Sometimes higher, sometimes lower, but it all averages.
I don't know what the average is. So is the average 2?
It's around
3. It's around 3, probably. But under Biden, it was painful.
Yeah.
And we're still having some pain, like with beef prices. Beef prices, there's just no way getting around
Well,
it.
and so many things take a while to respond to changes in the economy. If you got to raise an animal for several months,
There's
it's going to take time to do that and have an impact on
There's no
the
way to speed the
prices.
process up. You
Right.
got to make new cows.
Yeah. You just got to wait.
Yeah, well, they got to spool it up.
The egg issue happened pretty quick.
Well,
Those
chickens
grow
grow
fast.
fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Cows take a couple years, man. They do. And there's got to be an incentive for the cattle people. And they're not the ones that are reaping the big benefits from this thing. But there's a supply and demand problem, and there's a monopoly, not really a monopoly, but there's very few that actually do the slaughterhouses and packaging and stuff. So there's some things to figure out. But
Five major companies that
it's going to take a few years.
Yeah.
It's going to take a few years. But I was in Walmart, just hamburger, I think. $6.50, $7 a pound.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Something like that.
That used to be, the poor people food, right? Hamburger. Anyone could get hamburgers.
Everybody likes hamburger.
I had a hamburger just yesterday.
Yeah.
But they're getting pricey. And then McDonald's is insanely expensive these days. And that used to, people used to say, "Oh, all the poor people can afford is McDonald's." No, you gotta have a good job these days to go to McDonald's.
Yeah, the $1.99 Happy Meal's gone.
Yeah. Well, and Wendy's is closing 700 of their locations.
Really?
Because they had a less than expected result in the last quarter there. But they're focusing, both McDonald's and Wendy's are focusing on coming up with value menus because it's become so expensive that people aren't going anymore. So they're trying to get people to,
We've got to get the meat prices fixed. That's not going to happen before this election.
No.
Other than that, like the eggs have come back down. You can buy eggs for 20 cents a piece, now and all that stuff. But the meat prices is a problem.
Yeah.
Herds are way down. And
we do eat more meat than we probably should anyway.
Yeah.
But so it might be good for us to cut back a little bit, and that would help the prices come back down a little bit, and then we'll start turning caveman again.
We're going to start eating bean salads or something.
The goat industry might make a
Yuck.
make a move.
I don't want to go.
Mutton is good. I like lamb.
Maybe it is. I don't know. I won't know. I don't know.
You've never had lamb?
Don't think so. Maybe.
It's okay. I make
lamb.
lamb.
You do?
No, I was just quoting the Big Fat Greek wedding.
Oh, okay.
It's okay. I make lamb.
Okay.
But when I get my curry at Asian Star, sometimes I'll get the lamb.
Oh,
it's good stuff. I like
it. Tony Fabrizio, he is the chief pollster and strategist for, I think he's the Republican Party, but he says it was the economy will be the top issue on the minds of the voters. I think so. And I think the Democrats have been pushing that, like, economy sucks, world's ending, economy sucks, inflation, oh my gosh, and Trump is so bad, that sort of stuff.
Well, like we were talking about with the local politics is what really affects you.
Yeah.
Of everything that the government does, it's the economy that affects people day in, day out.
But I think it's been definitely improving. The numbers show improvement. And the White House needs to spotlight its effort on easing affordability. Trump team will deploy every resource necessary to win the midterms, protect our majorities, and ensure President Trump keeps delivering results for American working families. I believe all that is true.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Democrats have scored a series of ballot box victories over the outperformance of off-year elections, and they've won some, and they've been specialty elections, like stupid stuff. There has been, and they've won double digits.
Yep. And there are people looking at that saying, is that a precursor of the midterms?
Well, of course,
and it's certainly worth taking note of. And I think there has been a change in the Trump administration and realizing that they might need to appeal to the independents more. We're not going to appeal to the Democrats, but I think we're trying to get more of the.
I know it needs more attention. There's many that have said that Trump needs to come get off the foreign affairs and get back to domestic, and that's what he's doing.
Yeah,
he's doing that, and that's going to make a difference. The best tool to motivate low propensity MAGA voters who don't always vote when Trump's not on the ballot is to motivate them to show up at the ballot box during the midterm. And we'll talk about that in the next hour because I'm running out of time. How he's going to get that done. But we will be back. AM 560, KBLU.
There's a man in D.C. He stands 6'3". He's fighting for you. He's fighting for me.
This is News Talk 560 KBLU, Yuma.
White House, the U.S. held in direct talks with Iran this week in Geneva with some reports of progress as the president pushes Iran to agree to a deal to scale back nuclear missile programs. A former prince in Britain, Andrew, stripped of his title already after being accused by a victim in the sex trafficking case, is now under arrest.
Andrew Mountbatten Windsor was arrested on his 66th birthday Thursday morning on suspicion of misconduct in public office in an inquiry stemming from his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. He is the first senior British royal in modern history to be detained by police. An arrest now means police can search his home and possessions.
Fox's Stephanie Bennett in London. King Charles, Andrew's older brother, put out a statement the law must take its course. In the search for Nancy Guthrie now in 2019 in Arizona, more DNA analysis on a glove found near the home and evidence from inside the Guthrie house.
The sheriff's department said it's going to try to identify that DNA not just through law enforcement databases, but also through this forensic genealogy testing. There's also been reports and theories of connection to Mexico, but so far nothing has been validated.
Fox's Matt Fitton in Tucson, Arizona. America's listening to Fox News.
Progressive Commercial presents Today's hero, your favorite sassy diner server. Sure, her eyes might say, I don't have all day. But deep down, you know that extra pancake on your plate says, I dislike you less than most people. Thanks, hero. What else can keep truckers going? Progressive truck insurance with primary liability limits up to $2 million. Get a quote in as little as 7 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Coverage subject to terms and limits.
Wesley Financial is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talks you into buying something really silly, you want to get out of that silly little thing. My advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit information kit. 800-809-7171. That's 800-809-7171.
From the News 11 Information Desk, I'm Manoj Sopo. Deputies have identified the man who died in a crash near Tacna on Tuesday afternoon. 32-year-old Masayela Roscoe Leon went off County 8th Street near Avenue 44 East and into a canal. The passenger escaped, but Orozco Leon was swept away and drowned. Officials say drugs, alcohol, and possibly speed may have been factors. This investigation is ongoing. And the man accused of sexually abusing a child under the age of 5 in Yuma for more than a decade has taken a plea deal. 46-year-old James David Schultz pleaded guilty to sexual conduct with a minor, attempted sexual exploitation, and child molestation. Probation is not an option, and he'll be required to register as a sex offender for life. Schultz faces a presumptive 20-year prison sentence and will be sentenced on March 9th. Catch us on the TV side on News 11 every weekday at 5, 6, and 10 p.m. for your latest weather, local, sports news.
Listen to KBLU from 8 to 9 every Monday morning to Life, Death, and the Law. Sean Garner and Adam Hansen discuss estate planning options. Learn how you can plan your estate using a will or trust to protect your family and secure your legacy. That's Life, Death, and the Law every Monday, 8 to 9 a.m. on 560 KBLU.
There's a man in D.C. He stands 6'3".
Hey, I'm 60 KBLU. Russ Clark with you, and let me see, Chris is in here.
Chris, I'm here. We got an hour left.
Oh, we do. We got Jim.
Jim.
He's coming. He's going to call in at 8:30. He's with the Conservative Caucus, and some updates on Iran, hopefully, and his thoughts on what's going to happen over there. It looks bad.
Well, I don't know if it's ever looked good with Iran. So.
Yeah, but there's a tension building.
Yep.
That's pretty at a high level right now.
Yep. I think some things are going to get settled.
Well,
one way or the other here.
I hope it's a peaceful means, but I wouldn't count on it. I started talking about some of Trump being out in the field. He's going to be doing some campaign run, helping Republicans that are running for House and Senate seats, stuff like that. The Republican National Committee Chairman, Joe Grutters, I don't know him.
I don't
know much about
him.
He said that Trump's the GOP's secret weapon that will help Trump defy history. And that the history says in the midterms, we've got to make sure we turn out our voters out.
Yeah.
We got to make sure that we have people energized. And nobody can energize people on our base more than Donald Trump.
Well, he energizes people on both sides.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why they put their signs in the front of their yard that says, I'm 100% anti-Trump.
Yeah.
I don't like that guy. Big red devil. See, last month he was in Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Michigan. A lot of people don't realize that. They think he's just overseas. He's doing, stopping wars and stuff.
No,
but
he's moving
all over.
Yeah.
Let me see. Willis said, that's his chief of staff, Susie Willis, said that Trump would start making weekly stops. He rallied supporters late last month in Iowa, a 1-month time Western battleground turned red-leaning state. President carried by double digits in 24. Republicans are now playing defense as they defend open Senate and gubernatorial seats and 3 competitive GOP-controlled House districts. The Democratic National Committee, here's what they have to say. Now, I don't want to shock you,
okay,
but it's different than what the Republicans think.
That doesn't make any sense.
Well, because of Donald Trump, tens of thousands of Georgians have lost their jobs. Hardworking families are paying over $1,000 more a year for the basics. And thousands of GA-14 residents are facing skyrocketing health care premiums while Trump tries to spin his record and lie about the economy. Democrats won't stop fighting to lower costs for Georgia families and protect their health care. What a bunch of crap. I mean, do they remember Joe Biden, who was the economic engine to drive inflation to where it is? Do they remember Obamacare that put health care out of reach for the average family member? While Trump has done a good fight for affordability, and if you look at those indexes of wages compared to inflation, we're at a better place now than at any time under Biden.
And
we're hitting in the right
I've said
direction.
it before. Statistics are the best way to lie by telling the truth. If you take one statistic and harp on it, then yeah, you can make a case for that one statistic. But you got all these other statistics that are saying something on the other side. Something completely different. Our world is not one piece of information. It's a conglomeration of all kinds of things, and there's a lot of stuff going on.
And this
you can't
says,
just harp on one piece of data.
This says tens of thousands of Georgians have lost their job. That's right. So you could say that without having any statistical backup, even.
Right.
You don't need it. It's just an emotional statement.
Yep.
May not even be true.
No, not
Take a phone call. You're on the air.
Hi, this is Sandy.
Good morning, Sandy. Sandy.
Hi, good morning. I'm so glad that President Trump's getting out there. But like Newt Gingrich said, and like I've been thinking, we need all of our representatives for Congress that are running to get out there and talk about the big, beautiful bill and talk about the comparison between the Republicans who want to give you a tax cut so you can keep more of your money versus Democrats who voted totally against it, and they want to increase your taxes and on and on.
Oh,
And we need the senators that are running to get out there too.
Yep.
They've got to get out there and actively campaign to distinguish between Republicans versus Democrats. And Hannity asked him on his radio show. It was, I don't remember when it was, maybe a few days ago. But Hannity asked him, well, would you help any of these people that are running? He said, absolutely. So if they need to get out there and talk, and they need to talk well so people can understand.
You mean better than AOC?
Definitely better than AOC.
Okay. We'll put
I hope they can do that. But it's important because it not only unifies the party, but it explains to people the difference
Yeah.
so that they can battle against the lies from the Democrats.
Yeah. Well, and the public needs to know.
I hope with all my heart they will do that and not just leave everything to President Trump.
Yeah.
It should not be all on his shoulders. And we can't have people making the mistake of thinking, oh, I'll vote for Gallego, and yet, I'll vote for Trump. And all Gallego does is undermine Trump.
Right.
Doesn't help him one bit. And so that mindset of people thinking, oh, I'm going to vote for the guy. Well, if you voted for Gallego, you didn't have very much common sense. And basically, it's got to be like strategic. It's like a battle. It's like a fight. And if you're going to have a good battle, you need all your guys on the field. And you need them there helping President Trump. You don't need these guys that are undermining him.
And they need to be smart. I like smart people to get up there to have a microphone.
If you listen to any of the questioning in Congress, the hearings, we got some real smart people.
You're not
versus
kidding.
the other side, all they are is like hate mongers.
That's all that comes out of their mouth is just spewing lies and deceit and negativity. And we're all doomed.
Right, and if you want to use the word racist, you could use it against a number of them.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to say that Stephen Miller is a Nazi and all that kind of crap.
He's a Jew.
That is just so terrible.
Yeah.
But people have to hear it. They need to get out there, actively campaign, have a really good, understandable speech. Work on preparing for questions that may be asked. They've got to get out there and do it. And if they don't think they can do it, they need to get somebody to help them. Like you could help them.
Yeah.
Newt Gingrich could help them. That's what they need to do. And it is a battle. And we know because we suffered through 4 years of Biden and them. Biden and the Democrats. The Democrats never tried to make things good.
No. That's not their job.
They sit back and they let everything be bad, and it wouldn't hurt to remind people of that.
Right.
When Democrats get their way, it's going to go like Mandani. Now, you take a look at Mandani right now. He has already got New York City in a crisis. I mean, it was hidden there anyway.
Right.
But he right now is going to be jacking up prices for real estate taxes 10%, he says. If Hochul doesn't get what he wants.
Some people were talking about he's doing that to try to blackmail Hochul so that she'll, and I might have heard it from you, I'm sorry,
That's
I
fine.
can't remember anymore,
No.
so that she'll put high taxes on the wealthy people who are exiting the state.
Correct.
I mean, how stupid is that? Just like Newsom running off the billionaires in California.
Yeah.
What an idiot. And yet people, I still think, I think it's in California, any of these ballot states, I think there's a lot of cheating that goes on. So I hate to just blame the Californians.
No, go ahead and blame them.
I can't necessarily blame all of them for it because I really think there's a lot of cheating that's going on. And I wish states had never gone to the ballot.
What makes you think that, Sandy? Why would you think there's cheating? What is a clue? What should I be looking for that's a clue?
Well, a clue would be a number of ballots going to the same place. Ballots where the person lives in a parking lot.
Yeah.
All that stuff adds up, and
yeah, they do.
You've got like multiple people living in the same 2-bedroom house.
And
then you go and check on it, and it's not true. None of them even
all
live there.
those are absolutely true. The 300,000 were never certified. The fact that the signatures are never checked. All those things are true. But something else that's very true for me is when I see the Democrats just go bonkers over the top. You can't double check anything. You can't audit. Don't look at it.
Right.
I know there's something in there.
Well, there has to be a way to check. Apparently, some ballots were put in multiple times.
Yes.
Surely there's something in the I guess not, whatever it is, a scanner or computer, whatever they're using, that they could get that information too.
That's the fear of the Democrats, I believe. Now, something that they say too, the Democrats is, well, Fulton County in Georgia, that was double checked. I mean, they ran those 3 times and the numbers are all good. Yes, what they did was recount the garbage they had. You recount the garbage, it's going to be the same number. What they want to audit is, should the garbage have been there and is it legitimate?
Right. And that's what I would like to see.
Yeah.
And for them to fight so hard against voter ID.
Yeah, man.
And to say that women are too stupid to be able to get their marriage certificate.
Well, they might have something there.
I don't understand on that too. If you get the real ID, are they saying in addition to the real ID, which I don't have that, but in addition to the real ID, you have to bring your birth certificate and your marriage license when you vote? Is that what they're saying? Or
Well,
what?
they're exaggerating that, and they're saying that. But look, to get a real ID, you can just go to DMV and get it, but you might need a birth certificate to do that.
Right.
You check with your DMV, and they'll tell you.
And they're saying it's real hard to get a birth certificate.
Oh, yeah, really hard. You have to be born.
Yeah. And even if it was lost via their parents, they can contact their place of birth or the city they were born in and get a certified copy.
You know what I think we need to do as a Republican Party is, for every one of those states that has a problem, and I know we don't have the problem here in Arizona, but every state has a problem. Republican Party ought to advertise that they will free of charge help anybody that needs this kinds of assistance.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Anybody,
that's a good idea.
Democrat, Independent, Republican, doesn't matter. We're setting up shop, and we are the person that will guide you to getting a legitimate ID that will get you through.
That would be awesome.
And if you're homeless, we'll come get you.
There you go.
Yeah.
And maybe even help pay for it.
Well, no, it's free. We'll pay for it.
Well,
you mean pay their fees? We'll pay their fees if they're financially distressed or something. I mean, but those kinds of expenses would be very small compared to what the Republicans pay for advertising. And this would be the best advertising they can get.
Yep.
Well, you guys follow probably the people in the state better than I do. Check to see how our Republicans are running, campaigning. I used the wrong word, how they are campaigning. And if they're open to you helping them or making suggestions or, getting the group together, do it because you know what you're talking about. So, it needs to be a unified. People need to view it as a fight. And it's a fight for liberty. It's a fight for prosperity. If you want to keep your money, you do not want the Democrats in there because Mondami wants to make all those increases because he's got $1 billion, more than $1 billion, but his $1 billion
deficit
budget.
Yeah.
No, it's the budget.
Oh, his budget. Yeah.
Well, he wants to give all this money away.
He wants to spend more money than Pennsylvania. I'm talking
Right.
the
I
state.
heard that it was more money than Florida.
It's double
It's
than
probably more money than everywhere.
Well, that's the nature of socialism is take all the money in and then spend it. So
now he wants a budget 127 billion
that's
for 8.4 million people, where the state of Pennsylvania has a $53 billion budget for 13 million people.
There you go.
Ouch! I don't know if he's a mathematician, but that doesn't add up as smart. So
no,
he's getting
tell me, I don't know if I guess that one guy in Pennsylvania, he's more truthful.
Yeah.
But they lie, and they're just not sharp economically. In that Scamberger, she made all these promises. She increased every single tax you could tax people on in Virginia.
Yeah.
Every single tax. Hear that, people. Understand that's their mindset. They want to tax people to give money away to other people to keep them in power.
Well, that's charity.
Not to run things well.
Yeah, that's charity when you give people money. It's charity.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm doing it, giving it someone else's
giving
money.
away other people's money.
That's exactly the
So
point.
it's actually theft.
It is theft. It is.
Right. So anyway, if you can help them, I think, we can't. President Trump is amazing, but it can't be all on his shoulders.
Right.
We need people to get into the battle, and they can't just sit back and be mild and meek. If you want to be in that office, you need to prepare, because when we got some smart people like that, Brandon Gill, I forgot what state he's from, but that young man asked awesome questions. And then, I wish I could remember, from our state, Elia, I can't remember his name. He asked excellent questions. I'll try to look it up and I'll text you if I can find it.
Thank you, ma'am.
I hate that I have that kind of a deficit. Anyway, have a good day.
Appreciate you.
All right, bye.
That girl does a lot of research.
Yeah.
I mean, I get stuff from her. I mean, so much stuff. I'm like, I can't read all this.
Right. and she's right. That we need to get out there. We need to be vocal. The midterms are always overlooked by people. It's not the big deal. It's not important. It is important. If we lose our majorities, they're as slim as they are. If they get slimmer, or if we lose them altogether, major changes are going to happen come next year. We got to hold on to our seats.
Yeah.
It would be great if we could expand our seats.
It is such a hurdle.
Yeah.
It's not an easy.
It's not.
Because history plays out that the sitting president loses seats in the House and the Senate usually.
Yep.
Senate looks pretty secure. No one even talks about that. Last time I saw a real workup on the polls.
Well, only a third of the Senate is being elected at any one time, so it's harder to.
But out of
shift
that third, we may gain a seat,
right,
instead of losing any, and it should be in good shape. But the House, it's everybody every 2 years. Everybody every 2 years.
So we need to educate the public. The midterms matter, and she mentioned some people will vote for Trump and then vote for Gallegos, and you don't want to say be party only because we're mindless.
Be smart,
but understand the system. If especially right now with the divide between the Democrats and Republicans, you're just causing more division.
Gallegos more progressive than Nancy Pelosi, but he ran as a Republican, a Reagan Republican.
Yeah,
and it was just a lie. It was just a lie from the very start.
Yeah,
and he's running for president, not officially,
right.
But he's already visiting Iowa and stuff like that. He's already doing all that.
We need to, people need to understand that you're not balancing things by picking one from one side and one from the other.
Yeah.
You're dividing things.
Yeah.
We need to have some, even if you don't agree with what people are saying, it's better to have a unified party going in one direction, a unified government going in one direction,
if we can,
than to have all kinds of.
There's always going to be some disagreements, but they need to be more, light instead of all that.
Yeah.
But if you ask Gallego, what policy of Biden would you change if you were given his slot? No. He doesn't have any. He would be just as much a disaster as Biden ever was.
Yeah.
He didn't believe in border protection.
Well,
he still doesn't.
And that's what,
but he advertised that he did.
That's what, one of the things they say was the nail in the coffin for Harris, which is just, I'd do everything exactly the same.
Exactly right.
Well,
Gallego
we
would be
didn't
smart
like
enough.
that.
Gallego would be smart enough to sidestep the question.
Right.
But if he really answered it, nothing
Right.
different. Nothing different. Gallego's getting thrown out there a lot by the Democrats.
Oh, you think?
Oh, I mean, yeah, they put him in front of cameras. They put him out there a lot.
Oh,
I
I
mean,
thought you meant like they're throwing him out.
No. I meant throwing him out to represent.
Yeah, because I've seen Democrats turning on Newsom.
As far as Democrat senators, he's one of the better looking ones. You got some older ones, the Bernie Sanders and stuff. So Gallego, they throw there, looks more youthful, looks more.
Right.
He's got some military background. So there's some very, very charming, good things about his background. Just don't ask him about his policy.
Yeah.
Don't get involved in that.
Right.
Because I don't think he's a lot different than Mandani on the
Well,
policy.
and that's what Sally was talking about. They're raising taxes. That socialism is tax everything, get all the money into the government, and then the government decides what to do with it, who's going to get benefits from this,
we're
that,
just
the
going
other.
to tax the rich. Yeah. We're just going to tax the rich to pay for everything. And the rich are leaving.
Right.
Fast.
Yeah.
Very fast. And now that Mandani's blackmailing Hochul with, well, if you don't let me tax, because he doesn't have the power to do the state.
Right.
He doesn't have the power. So he told Hochul to do it. To tax the wealthy, an extra rich tax on top of tax, an extra tax,
right?
Because you got to pay fair share. That's his opinion. 50% isn't enough. I want more than half. And then when she's saying like that, we can't do that, he says, well, if you don't do that, I'll raise all real estate taxes in New York City 10%. Everybody, even the people he says he's going to protect and not hurt them, and I'm going to give you free everything. You're going to get Metro for free. We're going to have a government-run grocery stores and all this, wonderful socialistic glory. Now he's saying, oh, and by the way, we're going to raise all your taxes 10% on property, which is already stupid high.
Well, we were talking about that last week with the Minnesota saying we're going to shut down schools and stores and all this. And you're harming yourself. Nobody, the people you're trying to influence are not a part of what you're dealing with, what you're doing there. And,
there's something else I got to say about Mandami, but I can't right now because I got to take a break. I'm having Jim Staff calling in. Yeah, we'll be right back.
We'll have sunny skies and a high of 68 today. Southwest winds at 10 to 15, clear and 50 for tonight. Sunny at 66 on Friday. Northwest winds at 5 to 10, 45 and clear on Friday night. Beautiful weekend coming. We'll start with 72 for the high Saturday, up to 81, partly cloudy on Sunday.
To be a part of Russ's show, call 928-344-5258. That's 928-344-5258.
March 6th through the 8th, it's the 33rd annual Midnight at the Oasis. An entire weekend of food, entertainment, and hundreds of classic cars and trucks with the rally on Main Street Thursday evening, March 5th. Friday, the gates open at noon for the show and shine, and at 4:30, hundreds of the cars will be cruising for Yuma from Cocobon Casino. It's the 33rd annual Midnight at the Oasis. An entire weekend of food, entertainment, and hundreds of classic cars and trucks.
We're the comfort experts, people you can trust. Ask our customers. That's why they count on us. Over 15 years of service, keep us going strong. We've got a name you can depend upon. Hamburger, refrigeration, and electric. Hamburger, count on us.
Sprague Sports is Yuma's hunting and shooting headquarters. Why? Because Sprague Sports is the difference. Where else can you buy, sell, trade, or consign firearms with free expert appraisals always? There's nothing like Sprague Sports with local price matching you can buy with confidence at Sprague. And all Sprague's firearms come with a lifetime warranty. And talk about customer service. There's a gunsmith always on duty. And there's expert one-day sight-in service. But that's not all. Sprague Sports has got training classes, including Arizona CCW, First Shot, Hunter's Education, and more. Sprague's handles Glock, Blue Label pistols, and is your NFA dealer in suppressors and full auto. That's why we call them the experts. And Sprague's is Yuma's Yeti headquarters, the best Yeti selection and free ice for life. Sprague's has 15 lanes of certified indoor shooting range and gun rentals you can try before you buy. That's Sprague's Sports, Yuma's hunting and shooting headquarters. Responsible gun ownership since 1956. 32nd Street next to Lowe's.
AM 560 KBL. You, Russ Clark, with you. Chris Larson in here. Yeah, don't call though because I've got the phone. I got the phone open for Jim Fat. Yeah, Jim's calling him. Man, Donnie, if I can take it out real quick. But recently there was a shooting in New York. Crazy guy with a knife. Somebody that legitimately had some mental issues.
Yeah.
Police were called by the families and said, "We can't control him. He's trying to cut everybody. He's out of control. You got to come over." Cops came, tried to calm him down. It shows on the scene.
You can see the
Put the
video.
knife down. We're just here to help you and all that stuff. He went, attacked the cop. Cop locked himself in a room or went in another room, shut the door. The guy kicked the door down.
He was a big dude.
The big dude.
Yeah.
And cop shot him like 9 times. Yeah, he got shot. He lived, and he's in the hospital. Man, Tommy's incensed. Cops should have never been called to the scene.
The family called him.
He's trying to get rid of them, and we're going to send social workers for those things.
And saying, oh, he had a mental health issue.
And
that doesn't make it sound better.
No. Let's take a phone call. You're on the air.
Hey, it's Jim Bass.
Hey, Jim.
Jim, just ready to call. We were just talking about Mandani, but I'll get off of that. But he's at least showing what good Democrat socialists are going to do to your state, to your town or city. He's not.
He's honest about it. I mean, goodness. But the reality is, when people are honest about things for a while in politics, and then they do it for a while, that sometimes leads to something really bad for longer than a while.
Yeah.
And the New Yorkers are going to get it full-throated, aren't they?
Yeah, he's running at it stupid fast, though, to put in stupid policies quickly as possible. He has no time to slow down for destruction. We're going right to it.
Well, he's got to get it done before people can think things through.
Yeah,
but consider this for a second. I mean, how different, honestly, would Andrew Cuomo have been than Zoran Mamdani? I made the argument when that was taking place that the Democrat Party is so radical communist right now. And they are. I mean, the party as a whole, their operating principle is Maoist communism in the fashion of present-day China, where you will suffer by the sword of the government if you do not comply, ultimately. But you will be given some modicum of freedom to be able to do something that you want to do. But the elite will be wealthy.
Yeah.
The elite will control all the power.
Mm-hmm.
They will tell you things that they say that they'll do for you and do just the opposite or worse. I mean, this is the modern Democrat Party. And, so I have no sympathy for New Yorkers in general in the sense that, they got Cuomo to shut down their state.
Mm-hmm.
And then they got now they got Mamdani to take their money away. We're going to soak the rich, except for you people whose property taxes we're going to take in mass because those filthy rich people wouldn't pay taxes. It's the most insane thing I've ever seen.
I think Gallego would be the same, though. You're right. I mean, it's the Democrats. Yeah. I think Gallego, even though he tries to play like he's Reagan-esque, he has the same policy structure in mind. He wouldn't be any different.
But just think of who he's going to support when push comes to shove. Look at who he does support when push comes to shove.
Absolutely.
He supports AOC. He's not out saying that Bart Stupak, or the pro-life, pro-family Democrat representative from the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, who was pounded and slammed to vote in Obamacare and then lost the next election, never to come back. Those kind of people don't exist in the Democrat Party anywhere. So Ruben Gallego can use a lot of By the way, all politicians use a lot of talk. We get with far less and far less onerous effect. A lot of Republicans do the same thing. They always tell us that if you just give us the House and give us the Congress, we're going to do this or that. Well, here's crunch time, guys. You got the SAVE Act sitting right there, and you got the means to do it, which is the standing filibuster. That is not, it's a challenge, but it's only a challenge for a short period of time to do one of the most important things that we need to do in this country right now.
Well, and you're bringing up the DHS shutdown right now, and that was one of my questions anyway. And John Thune's at the driver's seat on this right now. I don't think he's giving me rhetoric I like to listen to right now. I think he's talking about, well, there's some negatives that would go along with the standing shutdown or standing filibuster, and I'm not feeling comfortable with it. Or is Thune going to do the right thing, or are we going to go without a voter ID thing and keep DHS shut down?
Right.
Here's a way to think about it that you don't hear them talking about. Well, let's consider for a second what happens with a standing filibuster. It's a simple process. It has its complications. It's pretty simple. But here's one of the main arguments against the standing filibuster. If we do, and by the way, you're not getting rid of anything. If they did the standing filibuster, this is what's been in existence in the Senate since 1806,
right?
When the rule was changed that made the way for what ended up becoming the filibuster. So what's at risk with the filibuster? Okay, here's what it is. Other legislation won't be able to move through. Like the reason we have this zombie filibuster, as Mike Lee rightly calls it, is that, excuse me, Senator Mike Mansfield, who was the Senate Majority Leader in the 1960s, because the cloture process was not giving them typically enough opportunity to move through filibusters, they created the zombie filibuster system, which allows other bills to pass around the filibuster bill, so that now all you have to do is threaten a filibuster, and it's a filibuster. Right. You don't actually really do filibusters.
Right.
So what's the risk? Legislation moving around it. I would like for John to tell me, when they're not passing legislation anyway, what legislation it is we're all worried about that can't get past the filibuster. That's really the only thing that's a risk. The only other thing that's a risk, which they won't admit, is that everybody in the Senate is really old and they don't like having to come in for roll call votes to keep the process going in such a manner to wear down the minority. And then so here's the other thing. The minority is going to lose power if we do this. And oh my gosh, we're just going to pick the greatest deliberative body we ever had. Listen, it's now called the greatest deliberative legislative body in the world just because people talk a lot.
Yeah.
It used to be called the greatest deliberative body in the world because not only did people talk a lot, they actually said something. You wouldn't know about people like Daniel Webster, Henry Clay, and some others. You wouldn't know anything about any of them if the deliberations that took place when these guys were spouting their mouths off all the time actually were over things that matter. Because we used to only legislate over things that matter. Now we legislate over every freaking thing that any politician can think of and convince other politicians to do that will help them get elected. I convince them, the other guys, that they'll get reelected too in some form or fashion, or not get reelected. So, we need this. It's the best thing that could ever happen is to kibosh the the zombie filibuster for the real filibuster, because then people are going to have to stand up for themselves. It's going to make a big deal in the television age. People are going to have to say why they want to do the stupid crap or oppose the good crap that they don't want to do. And now everyone's going to be on record, and plus they're going to have to pay a price if they really want to stop it.
I have heard from some commentators that this voting act was a SAFE Act, that it's probably the most important legislation before us right now, and it's going to make or break the rest of the Trump administration, because it's going to clarify. I mean, we're going to clarify our vote. We're going to make sure it's a safe, secure vote. And it's so important that we get this out here. That's probably the most important thing out there. And that's what the standing filibuster would be about, is about that, really, DHS, and that is that voter ID, which 85% of the population agree with. And we're too afraid to do it. And it's just mind-boggling that Thune just doesn't say, this is the most important. I think it's the most important.
Guys, let me say this. I'm going to slightly reframe what you just said. It is important for Trump, sure, in many ways. But it's not just important for Trump. It's important for the future of this country.
Yeah.
We have survived some very horrible political situations in our country's history. We've survived the political situation around the Jackson administration, which wasn't the worst, but it was kind of cantankerous. We survived possibly much worse politics during the Civil War.
Right.
We made it through that. We made it through the politics that came about during the 1960s and the attempts to fix the Jim Crow law situation. We made it through that. We can make it through a lot of political things. We cannot survive as a country if we cannot have elections that are about what citizens care about and not what illegal aliens that can be forced into the system directly or indirectly. Remember, we do have direct and indirect illegal alien interference in our country right now.
Right.
In terms of the politics. The direct influences, there are probably a lot more illegal aliens voting than anyone is willing to admit they ought to go looking for. Okay, that's the first thing. I don't have all the evidence for it, but I'm certain that it's happening a lot. Particularly when I know for a fact, like it's not even arguable that there are many states that give illegals driver's licenses. Okay, so just that fact alone tells me, you can argue all you want. We've got illegals voting in this country. Right. Here's the second thing, the indirect one, which may be even more important because it's something that has thwarted the ability, or that has given Democrats far more power than they deserve, is the fact that our census counts illegals and apportionment is based upon the count of illegals.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So in other words, Democrats have successfully been able to do with Hispanic illegals or all illegals that have come into this nation at their behest, what Democrats were able, well, they weren't Democrats then, but they were close to it, what Southerners were able to do with slaves to make sure that they still could be counted as larger states than they really were.
It's a great analogy.
Right? The three-fifths clause of the Constitution is called racist. It wasn't racist, by the way. It was the time bomb that eventually got rid of slavery, or part of the time bomb that got rid of slavery in this country. But these Democrat Confederates are utilizing that same argumentation as it relates to illegal aliens in this country right now. Yeah. And by the way, I don't hate all illegal aliens. Most of them are probably really fine people that just want to do things to advance their lives. The problem is they were told to do so on the lie, and they're being used for purposes that are not even related to them at all. Right. Because once Democrats are able to solidify power with all these illegals that are in the country, they'll get thrown over to the side for power, just like everybody else does. And that's what Democrats are all about. That's the game. That is the battle we're fighting, folks.
So best guess, is Thune going to do the standing filibuster, or are we going to be proud of what he does?
I do not know yet. I have more hope for something like that than I've had for years. This is something that a lot of us on the inside have been talking about or kind of bandying about. Do we want to get rid of we have so much problem with the filibuster in the Senate? Do we want to get rid of it and all this kind of stuff? And a lot of us have said, no, we don't want it. Well, this is the means to do it. Say again.
When you're talking about a rule change like the filibuster or the standing filibuster, people are always like, well, when the power shifts, then we're going to be held back. Do you think that's part of the conversation, part of the reasoning he doesn't want to go to the standing filibuster, or do you think there's some other reason he's holding back?
I'm glad you asked the question that way, because this actually helps me clear up a misconception that I probably should have done a better job clearing up earlier. The standing filibuster does not change the rules of the Senate.
No, right.
Those rules exist today. So, and to emphasize something I said earlier, the standing filibuster causes the Senate to work more like what we always say they work, that they don't work right now. So the rule changes that have made the filibuster different were the cloture rule, which came in the early part of the 20th century,
Right.
which was the 60, which is now the 60 vote threshold. Then it was a 66 vote.
Right.
Well, it was a 2/3 threshold. Then it's 3/5 now. Excuse me. That was there to break filibusters because people had learned how to use them very effectively then.
Right.
The other rules change is what Mike Mansfield, when he was a Senate Majority Leader, had worked in, which was to do the zombie filibuster, which allowed, and actually it wasn't a rules change itself. It was just a preferential procedure where they allowed bills to pass around, controversial bills that would be hard to pass. So, by the way, the zombie filibuster was used to pass the Civil Rights Act. Are you aware of this?
I was not.
No.
Mike Mansfield could not get, he had 40 Democrats in his caucus that were not going to advance civil rights legislation at all.
Huh.
And so he eventually put the Civil Rights Act on the floor. They did the zombie filibuster. They wore out those opposing the bill with the help of Republicans, I might add. And then they had 71 votes to move the legislation forward, and it passed with a majority vote.
Right.
Everyone needs to read my friend Rachel Bovard's piece in The Federalist. I think it just published yesterday. And she explains this well. I reposted it on my timeline saying, when I was working on Capitol Hill, I was a creature of the House. I wasn't an expert on Senate rules. And if I ever wanted to know anything about Senate rules, I always went to Rachel. Rachel Bovard is, and in fact, Mike Lee reposted this too and said something similar because she used to work for him. But she's a genius on this. But she also lays out some of these things that I'm talking about in a manner that answers Kimberly Strassel of the Wall Street Journal's article saying the standing filibuster is a stupid idea. Now, I have great respect for Kim Strassel. She's pretty smart. But she really missed it on this one, and Rachel answers it very well.
We'll have to take a look at that.
Yeah.
Some other things I want to just cover with you quickly. The Georgia raid, the vote raid, very interesting to watch the left melting down on trying to block that audit. And it looks like it's going to get audited for real, hopefully. And then possibly Arizona right after it.
So let me give everyone, if they haven't thought about it already, and I think everyone listening to you intuitively understands this, but I'm going to say it explicitly. Whenever transparency is an issue and some politician tells you that they don't want you to see it, there is a 9.9 out of 10 chance that there is no good reason for it to not be transparent.
Right.
Correct.
And of the times that they do it, I can guarantee you that well more than 50% of those times. Sometimes they don't want to do it for political embarrassment, but I'm telling you, well more than half of the time, it's because they were doing something immoral or illegal, and they don't want you to know about it.
Right.
So you just have to have it a standing rule. When politics, I don't care if it's a Republican even.
Right.
I don't care if it's Donald Trump's administration. Listen, people were negative about not releasing the Epstein files, not because Donald Trump's so much evil. This is one of those things where I would say it wasn't directly because of evil, but the real problem was he politically decided it was a distraction. Frankly, in some ways, it's been helpful now that it's out more. But also, we're going to be by this. I mean, like the Epstein files, no one's even going to think about after about a year because we'll have worked through the most juicy material, and unless someone goes from jail, we're not going to think about it anymore.
True.
We've got a government to get rid of. But back to my point, when to the transparency issue, the 9.9 out of 10, there's something nefarious or criminal or immoral going on. When it's an election official that doesn't want to do it,
right,
that is the most dangerous reason for a lack of transparency that we would ever have in this country. And to be candid, this is a modern phenomenon. I will say the states had built up hurdles in the past until maybe this century, maybe 40 years ago. States had put up some hurdles for challenging elections because of the fact that you would have a lot of people who would want to challenge them because they were just mad. It's kind of like when you're watching a basketball game, and I don't know if you guys are Arizona Wildcats fans, but it's like the Arizona Wildcats. Someone's driving down the lane, and the defender falls down, and the defender clearly didn't have his feet set, or at least it didn't seem like it to you, and they called an offensive foul, right? And everybody in the crowd is mad.
Right.
That had happened in our elections to a certain degree, and it was something we had to address, and so issues of standing and that sort of thing got more well refined over years. But what's happening right now, one of the major legal arguments against Donald Trump himself challenging the 2020 election, win, lose, or draw, is that they said he didn't have standing in court. Everyone says, no, there were 65 cases, and 63 of them were just thrown out. They were all thrown out on standing or some minor technicality, most of them standing. Like, it's the person running who has the most standing, right? And election officials have some standing too, because so the point I'm making is that if the transparency we can't get is by an election official, that there's a very good chance something either really stupid that they don't want to admit, but still had something to do with the outcome of the election took place, or something very really illegal. Like, tell me what the other two reasons that the Georgia officials don't want this stuff public would be. It's got to be one of those two things, and they both likely lead to the election going the way it shouldn't have gone. And so this is a fight of our lives right now.
I think
the SAVE Act and going after these. Arizona clearly, every one of the swing states that are clearly a problem.
And like you were saying, we've survived as a country all these things over the centuries because the people knew they had the power at the ballot box to change things. If the people don't feel like they have that power, then everything's going to fall apart. So you're exactly right.
Politicians, let me interrupt you by saying that's even worse if politicians know that they can rig that.
Yeah, exactly.
That's even worse.
Yeah, and I hope they do Arizona, and the Democrats will say, well, they've already audited, they recounted that many times. Yeah, they recounted the ballots that are suspect. If you recount the suspect ballots, it's always
from other verifications, by the way, too. Keep that in mind.
Yeah. So hopefully something comes of this quickly.
Yeah. Well, listen. One other thing that I would love to see adjudicated that I think is just as criminal as can be is the fact that Arizona, Georgia, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Nevada all changed their voting laws in 2020 without passage to the legislature. There was no legislative act that did that. In Article 2, Section 1, Clause 2 of the Constitution states that the president must be elected by a process that was passed by the legislature of each state. And in every one of those cases, there was either a consent decree or an administrative change. In Arizona, it was just an administrative change by Katie Hobbs, that and a couple other things. But anyway, if it doesn't happen through the legislature, it didn't happen according to the Constitution. And so therefore, your process was wrong. Just that alone is something that we need to be like. We got to be. You have your friend that you work with, or your sibling or parent that is a detail freak, and they drive you nuts. Because every little detail they're paying attention to you on, for good or for ill. Like, well, we need detail freaks when it comes to elections, and we'll be loose, maybe more loose from the other stuff. We should be very tight, but we can deal with looseness elsewhere. We can't deal with it here.
Right. Wow, I was unaware of that issue, so I'll be looking for that one. Question for you on Iran. Iran looks like the saber rattlings. I mean, it's really tensing up. The tension is going, and Ayatollah now is thinking that this is inevitable, and we got the most powerful chips now out there. The Ford just came out there. It looks like there's being business. Is that going to be good or bad for us if there's some kind of additional attack on Iran? And I'm talking politically in this election season.
Well, it's going to be hard to say in this election season. Wars, when presidents have gone to wars, it's always helped them politically. I think that's one of the most evil things about war that exists. I'm not trying to say, no, trust me, I'm saying the general principle here. I'll get to Trump here in a moment. But that is always, so because that's the fact, then I have a hard time knowing what the actual effect of some military conflagration less than war or war itself would cause on the election. It distracts from certain political issues that are important that might be negative. There are a couple little things that the American people are negative on Donald Trump on, but they're still generally positive. So I don't know it's hard to say what that effect is. I know for people like me, I'm not a pacifist, but I really hate going to war.
Right.
And we have done it really badly this century, and frankly for the last 40 years.
Wow. Last time I'm sorry. Last time we bombed Iran, it wasn't a war. We called it a military action.
Yeah.
And it was. I think that's fair to say, but it's a war. I mean, it's a war action, so we always have to be honest about it. Well, listen, I'm not in the war caucus.
Okay.
I'm not in the pacifist caucus either. So that goes to the second layer of this, though, which I think is really important, and I'm very thankful that Donald Trump is trying to do. There's nothing that can potentially help you more at a negotiation table than to have two U.S. terrorist groups sitting in your back door.
Yeah.
So what we're testing right now, what Donald Trump is testing, I believe, he hadn't told me this, obviously, but is that he's making the mullahs look down the barrel of two terrorist groups, which have hundreds of the most sophisticated fighter aircraft with warships around it that have the most advanced, sophisticated cruise missiles that we designed and use around the world, that we have used in their area before, and with plenty of artillery on top of those destroyers as well too. And they have to ask themselves, do we really continue this fight? And that's what we're testing right now. It's what Donald Trump's testing. Now, the good news about Donald Trump, unlike many other world leaders and some U.S. presidents, is that I think he actually ultimately does have the Iranian people's interest in mind. And he's not willing to be a warmonger just to be a warmonger. And we have, of the four presidents we've had in this century, only one of them has not been that kind of person. And I'm including George W. Bush in that mix as well, too. So may disagree, that's where I stand. So we're going to find out what a guy who, frankly, might be good-hearted towards a country that is presently our enemy might actually be able to do. And maybe if something good comes out of that, you'll finally get the Nobel Prize he deserves.
Maybe. I doubt it. But if nothing happens, Trump has thrown some wordage out there, red line, of things he won't tolerate. In fact, there's 4 things that he put out there that he won't tolerate, and they broke all of them. I mean, they're going back after the nuclear weapons, they're going back to enrich uranium. They're building more larger ballistic missiles, and they're murdering their own citizens. He can't idly do nothing at this point, or he'd look like Barack Obama.
Well, I 100% agree with that. And let me handicap it this way. We have reports saying that 30,000 Iranians have died during what's been going on in demonstrations there.
Yep.
Much of that demonstrative power in the people has taken place because Donald Trump has said that he would support them.
Right.
I don't know if those numbers are right, but I do know that people have died.
Right.
And so it's possible I don't know this for a fact, but this is just my little handicapping here. It's possible Donald Trump really doesn't want to use military power at all. He's trying to push these guys into a corner, which, in my opinion, is nearly impossible if it's even achievable without some kinetic action. I'd be surprised. But I think he's trying to bring enough kinetic ability into the region to make them understand, unlike every other president you've talked to, I ain't backing down. Now, when Donald Trump makes a threat, he means it. And so we could see kinetic action. And we just saw that happen in a very mild degree in Venezuela. And I think he's also trying to let the mullahs know that I did that to them, I could do that to you.
Mm-hmm.
So now, when they have justification to do it, these are big questions that are going to come afterwards. And that's one of the reasons why I can't be so forceful in terms of what the result of war with Iran, or at least some mini conflagration with Iran, would do for the elections. That's really hard to say. And you're on a razor's edge whenever you're getting into this kind of thing. And so there's a lot we've yet to learn. And frankly, we're going to learn it. It's going to be in the history books. But my greater question and concern is whether we'll secure our elections again and be able to react to these political problems in the future in the way that we, the American people, decide to react,
and
rather than what the Democrats decide to impose upon us through their rigging of elections, like they do not have in California right now.
And that is the biggest issue at hand right now, is the voting, I think. You're right. Yeah, I think most people agree with that. That's all the time I've got. I'm running out of time. We're on the top of the hour, and it's Jim Pfaff, the Conservative Caucus. And website's the same thing, theconservativecaucus.org.
Yes. And I do want to let you guys know that I wasn't getting off easy today doing the interview at 10:30 like I normally would, because I'm in California at doing meetings right now, and I have to get up early for this. So I want to let you know, I will pay a price to be on your program because I enjoy it so much.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much, Jim. Thanks. Take care.
All right, guys. Have a good day.
With that, we're running out of time. I'll be back. When will I be back?
Monday.
I guess it'll be Monday. I'll be recorded for tomorrow. I still have some more recording to do. So I'll be on air tomorrow. And I'll be back live on Monday, AM 560, KBLU.
There's a man in D.C. He stands 6'3". He's fighting for you